Hello. Oh, fuck. I'm so loud
loud
right out of the gate. Fuck. We're in the podcast sounds bad territory now because I just leave the windows open for the summer. Also, I don't give a shit because the quality is so very low. Danny Mac's Awful Podcast. Kris Woz is back.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for having me back.
Oh, such a pleasure.
Part twosies.
Almost like part threesies because I turned your previous episode into a two-parter.
Yeah. I couldn't stop talking. Yeah.
No, we had a
so
lot
much
to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, TLC shows.
Yeah.
Oh, I love TLC shows.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe I didn't get you two together. And the Queen of Mean is back, Natalie Reina.
Hello.
She's the evilest, the meanest lady I know.
She's a pure
is back.
villain.
Yeah, she's twisted and evil, sick. She's a sick woman.
Well, the barista thought you were a villain today.
Yeah, clearly the barista had it out for me.
Let
I don't
everyone
know
know
what
the
that was
barista thinks you need to drop a few LBs before the wedding day, apparently.
Yeah, clearly. And the my milk choice offended her.
What did she say?
She was like, oat milk? She was like, so oat milk? And I was like, no, regular milk's fine. And she goes, oh. And then walks away. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't realize that was a controversial opinion these days.
Because you wanted a matcha latte, but you wanted full fat cream. You wanted
just
buttermilk.
Like regular.
Natalie's like, can you have
I
any
just
vanilla
asked
ice cream
her,
you can melt? And then I'll have my matcha
Just asked her
with
for
that.
buttermilk and she looked at me funny. I don't know.
Oh, that would send me in a spiral, though, where I have a
All
whole
day.
visual of what she looks like. And you can correct me, but I just see her like chewing gum, like kind of pissed off, but like kind of into her vibe a little bit.
Yes. Yeah. Like between 20 and 22. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is unrelated, but I have to tell the story because it was so weird. I went and got my eyelashes done the other day and they just like perm and tint them. The woman was like probably again between like 20 and 23 kind of thing. She was telling me about how she got fired from her last job. I was like, oh, how long have you worked here? And she's like, oh, really? Not very long at all. Like I'm still really new to this. I was like, interesting thing to be telling someone while you're about to like
Literally
put dangerous chemicals on my eyelashes.
No problem.
And she then proceeded to sing the songs that were playing on the radio inches from my face for an hour.
What?
Like, because she's leaning over, right? Like on your eyelashes. She was so close to my face that I could feel her breath like on my face. And she was like whisper singing the entire time. I was so uncomfortable that it was like, I don't know. There was a point where I was like, I should just tell her to stop. I should just ask her to stop. Why can't I just ask her to stop? But I was like, well, I feel awkward because she's right there and I don't want to be mean. But the whole time she's like, I should have brought you flowers. Like,
Oh,
right in front
no.
of my
Did she have a good singing voice at least?
No, I mean, it was like a half whisper singing. So it like was in and out of full voice. And I could like feel her little like spit particles on my cheeks. It was horrifying for like literally an hour.
That's not fun.
But I do understand the war in your mind. Like, because if you speak up, that could go in a few different directions.
Totally.
And she's the one who's tinting your
True.
eyebrows. So you got to let her. And I could see how she might use that to like, this is the moment where I'm going to make everyone like listen. You know, those people who sing, but they try to sing where like someone else will hear me sing and like they'll be like, Kris, you, or like there's this person in high school and she'd always like sing under her breath, but like in a really affected way. Because then she kind of knew. And because I would do this too. Like, I'm guilty of this. I like try and do something to impress someone, but subtle, so it looks like I'm just doing it to myself, but really I'm trying to get attention.
The effortless with full effort.
Yeah, because she would really go on like trails on her voice, like hey, hey, like you know, like sound like a particular.
Do that
singer.
Aguilera type thing.
Yeah,
where
yeah, and just
really eating.
trail, eat the song up, yeah. And so, but if they're doing your eyebrows, you just got to compliment them, and that's a safe.
Well, it's
she's
like
in
when
a
you get
good power position.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's like massages when they talk to you a lot, and you're like, honestly, I'm here to just turn my brain off and not like, I don't want to talk to the help is what I'm trying to say. I'm getting my back rubbed. Be quiet. Yeah. Light the incense and shut up.
I've babbled during a massage like they said you should focus on stillness and quiet your mind, because I'd ask every question like why does it feel like that, why does it feel like blah, blah, blah? Like I was not relaxed at
Why did
all.
I just hear your zipper go down? Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
Okay,
Let it happen.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, are we opening these right now? You want to go
you can
first?
do a little
You don't have
ASMR.
to go super close to it. Well, here, I'll do it first. I'll
Oh,
show you.
let me-
Here's the first one. We were talking about ASMR earlier, so. Woo!
Nice.
That was crisp.
I feel like I have to like
Crisp.
tap the mic first.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Here we go.
Ooh.
Very nice. Very nice,
Very
Kris.
nice.
Cheers, everyone.
Lovely.
Happy
Cheers.
whatever day this fucking
It's half
comes
sweet
out.
regular milk in case
Half
anyone's
sweet.
wondering.
Oh, well, the big wedding day is coming up, so.
Is it disappointing? Half sweet?
It's not as good as full suite.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she made me feel bad about my choices. So
Thanks for coming on Obvious Statements with Danny Mac. Half sweet, not as sweet as full
it's
sweet.
delicious. Yeah.
Before we go any further, would you guys like to guess how much I spent on Evo car share last year in the year of 2024?
That's a fun game.
I will say it's higher than I've ever spent on it.
Can I get context? Like, what does it cost to Evo?
50 cents a minute.
50 cents a minute. Yeah. 50 cents a
49
minute to use
technically.
one of these things. My big trips that I take every week, once a week, I drive to Coquitlam and back. It's a 3-hour trip
Why do you drive to Coquitlam?
because I train with Big Ron at his train in
right.
Coquitlam. Yeah, that's why I'm such a beefcake.
Right,
Yeah,
of course.
That's right.
It's the Coquitlam.
And then I guess you don't really go for auditions and stuff anymore, but yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Any guesses? It's more than I've ever spent in a year.
Okay, but before I guess, what is the common, like, someone who uses it casually, what is the common amount someone would spend a
Do you
month?
know what you spend on it a year,
Like,
Natalie? You have a car, though.
Yeah, I have a car, but I still use it. Like I took an Evo here because parking's annoying. So
Yeah.
like 120 a month probably is my average spend, I would say.
Okay, so you spend, let's just say, like 15 to 1800 a year
Yeah.
on Evo. Okay.
Yeah, I would say that's probably accurate.
Yeah, so that's for someone with a car. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say that maybe you spent that in a month, not a year.
That's a lot.
I'm going to guess 5,000.
Okay.
In a month?
No, in a year.
No, in a year.
Annual.
A full year.
Okay, so we're guessing a year, not a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because my months are they're all over the place. They're way different.
Okay, 7,000 in a year.
Damn,
Just
you
'cause-
guys guessed way over. Now my number's not going to sound interesting.
What was your
no, it's
number?
not interesting.
4,800.
Okay.
That's still a lot.
Close.
It is a
That
lot.
is a lot.
Close.
Well,
Yeah.
every other year it's like $3,000. That's why I was like, Jesus! But then I also spent a lot on Ubers as well. So I'm like, I don't know what the fuck, who I think I am. I'm never required anywhere. No one needs me for anything. So anyway.
We also live in a very transit friendly city. So like if you really have to get somewhere, you
Yeah.
can just get on transit.
You can walk here like Chris did.
Yeah.
A nice 2-hour stroll
long
in the
stroll.
afternoon.
Yeah, but the most uncomfortable thing about my life is looking at what I spend through Uber. It's just not. It's not good. It's because it's like I see this is a character flaw. This is
And
something
some
that I
of
need
it's
to
a
work on.
write-off, and some of it's not.
Most of
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
You know, it's like impulse. Like, oh, what do I feel like? I want this, and then I press a button and get it. And it's not good.
I think Uber Eats is like one of the biggest scams
my
in
God.
history. Like
I DoorDash
it's-
groceries, everything. Like it's brutal.
You're just hooked on
everything.
it now?
Everything we DoorDash. Like
Groceries. You trust them to pick your grapes for you?
they pick the best ones because then they have to refund you if they pick bad ones.
Oh, so they might be the best at this.
Also,
do that.
Costco is on Instacart is the best thing in the entire world. Like
Absolutely.
what's
Get your
this?
bulk shopping done
yeah,
through Instacart.
you can buy Costco stuff on Instacart, and because of that, you don't actually have to go into Costco, which is like a special kind of hell. Like it can be really fun for sure, but like obviously the samples are fun, whatever. But it's always so crowded and crazy. No matter what you do, you end up walking away with like hundreds of dollars worth of stuff you didn't need, no matter how like tactfully you go in there.
Yeah,
with Instacart,
always.
you can hit like buy again, and it's just your same groceries every time. You can also collect points on Instacart. You can buy like gift cards on Instacart at good rates, and then use them towards your Costco order.
Today's show brought to you by
Yeah,
Instacart.
right, no kidding.
folks.
And they take American Express, which is nice. Costco doesn't.
I got
but-
this camping chair from
Wow.
Costco.
It's
very
because
nice.
I was going up on my roof, and no one knows the code to get up on the roof because it's like dilapidated up there. Like it's fucking haunted. Like you
fall
could fall
through
off
the
and die.
things.
Honestly, the flooring is like you could like fall through and break your leg. But there was this
no.
camping chair up there. And I would sit up there and read, and like no one goes up on the roof because it's like they're not trying to like they don't want people up there for like legal reasons. And the chair had just been left up there for years, and it had a rip in it, and it just like I was sitting in it one day, and it just like fully ripped apart, and it got destroyed. And I was like, damn, well, that was fun while it lasted. And then I started really missing like going up on the roof. I'm like, I should get that exact chair. So I found it on Costco. But now I haven't ever brought it up there because I'm afraid that other people are like, I'm selfish. Like, I don't want a communal chair for the building up there
your
for like
chair.
the 3 people who do know the code to the roof. That's my chair. I don't want them smoking their cigarettes in my chair.
Yeah.
But now I've got a camping chair in my house like a white trash idiot. But it is comfy.
That's
I do
such a
like
male instinct, being like, I want to get on the roof. Like, I don't know what it is, but every like man I know at some point is like, oh, can we use the roof? Like, can you get on the roof?
Man and rabbits, we like to be high up, so we will climb.
Like, I'm going to climb that rock. Like, you know?
It is pretty dude energy. And having a camping chair in your bachelor suite apartment is serious dude energy.
And when you go to the roof, do you just sit, or is it like
I sit in my...
Are you doing games? Or
I bring my telescope up and I find my next victims.
Yeah. I mean, a telescope would make sense, though.
Yeah.
Look at the star.
I'd be like a Hitchcock villain. Yeah. No, I've been reading the Three Body Problem books, the trilogy, and I'm on the last one right now. So I've been going up there and like pretty much just reading sci-fi like a dork. Yeah, and it's great.
I wanted to watch the Netflix series Three Body Problem. I read all about the Three Body Problem, but I never actually watched it, or like I just read what it was, like what they were trying to say. So the Three Body, I still don't. It's a math thing, and like
it's very much a math thing. But I'm like the dumbest math guy in the world. Hence, even that sentence, I can't even explain how bad I am at math without proving how bad I am at math. Yeah.
But people said that the Netflix series was going to be huge, and I think it was huge. Like
I just haven't heard anyone say they like loved it. I've known a few people who've watched it, but it didn't end up being like the biggest thing ever, because I don't think it's not like Wednesday where people are like, where's the next season? Anyway, I'm not watching it till I'm done the third book, because I hear they sort of mishmash everything together, and I don't want any spoilers. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't really heard people say that they're
what's it about?
Danny, you go.
It's like it's tough.
Watch him flounder.
The tough thing is like the whole first book, like the main like action of the trilogy, like the main like problem of the trilogy, doesn't really come into effect until the end of the first book. So it's like it's almost a spoiler just telling you what it's about, but I'm going to do it anyway.
I was going to say, you're saying so much and so little at the same time.
Basically, humans sent out like hey, we exist in the universe, like hoping to finally contact aliens, and it reached a civilization that has 3 suns, meaning... And that's the Three Body Problem. Like 3 things in orbit, they never have a consistent orbit. So there's never periods of time where the people who live on those planets, like they can never predict when it's just going to be sun or there's not going to be sun. So anyway, long story short, they need to leave their solar system, and they just heard that there's a solar system with only 1 star. So it's like humans are like, hey, we exist. And then the first person to reach back out is like, thanks, we're coming to invade you. We'll be there. We'll be there in 40 or whatever. They can only travel at a percentage of light speed. So humans have, I think that at first they think they've got a couple hundred years to prepare for it. And then that other planet, like their technology gets better and better. And it's like, oh no, they're going to be here way fucking sooner. So it's just like, what do you do when you know that like aliens who are like, have way better technology than you were coming for you? Yeah.
And also did it, because this is where I get lost a little bit, even though the topic fully interests me, like interdimensional, does it talk about that kind of thing?
There is a little bit of like stuff about like the 4th dimension later on in some of the other books, without talking too much about it. Not like these books are like a decade old, and there's a show, and there's multiple shows apparently. My friend Samson said that there's like because the books are from a Chinese author. He says there's a Chinese version of the show that has like no money, and it's really good because it's just like the nerdy sciencey talk, which is the interesting parts of the book where like they figure out a solution to a problem that's like sort of right under our noses all along, and in a way that even like a dumbass can understand. Like,
it's like the original Hunger Games. Do you guys ever watch that? What was it called? It's like the Japanese film.
Oh, but Battle Royale?
Good. Yeah,
Battle
that one.
Royale.
That was such a good movie.
Is Battle Royale Korean?
Oh, maybe it's Korean.
It was Korean, but that's incredible. Yeah. So that when Hunger Games came out, I'm like, doesn't everyone know that this is like
already a thing?
Yeah. But
Americanized.
But then you get the J-Law in there, and it doesn't matter anymore because we got to see J-Law.
It's true.
J-Law was great.
And Alexander Ludwig, remember he was in that? And that was like, he was from West Vancouver. I remember that was really cool.
Oh.
My roommate in university went to elementary school with him. And they had a Christmas concert, and she likes to say she beat him out for the role of lead penguin.
That's really funny, actually.
I'm like, that's
Did
awesome.
Hunger Games shoot in Vancouver?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. They just scooped to Vancouver, right?
But Alexander Ludwig was also in a Nicki Minaj music video.
Oh.
Was he really?
And I'm a pretty big Barb, and so
whoa,
I am as well a big Barb. Chris and I love Nicki Minaj. Like half the memes we send each other are just like Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj. Yeah, he was the man in the, what was that Nicki music video that came out most, like, not recently, but like 2 years ago? Freaky Girl.
Oh yeah, Freak.
Freak. He's the guy in the music video.
He's the
No
freak.
way.
No,
He's
well, she's the freak. But
She's the freak, and
she's the real freak.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know. And I was just I'm like, is that Vancouver actor Alexander Ludwig and Nicki Minaj? I've never met him, but I know him through Vikings and like
Right,
I know
Vikings. He's so good at that.
I know his acting, but I've never met him. But I'm like, I feel like I kind of know him because I can associate him as a Vancouver actor. But like, I'm like, oh my god, Ludwig's in a Nicki Minaj music.
I feel like all my favorite rappers are becoming Pride music icons now. Like Doja Cat and Nicki Minaj are just like dominating when I hear like Pride events going on now. It's like less and less like Lady Gaga, and like you'll get like that one Cher song.
Carly
or
Rae
whatever.
Jepsen as well is a huge,
Really?
yeah, it's big ally.
Does she have other big hits besides Call Me Maybe?
I have no idea.
No, but apparently that she does have a huge gay following. Like
Yeah.
I know
Really?
I know of Carly Rae Jepsen through like the gay community, and people love her, and people love Sabrina Carpenter right now.
Yeah.
and Chappell Roan. Everyone's talking about the new Lorde album, and apparently the new Miley Cyrus album was overlooked because everyone who listened to it says it's really good. But I have not listened to.
Is that the one with flowers on it, or
either.
is it like a newer one than that?
The new one that got released like a couple weeks ago.
Miley's
heard
good.
it.
She was my. I forgot to mention her, but when we did top 5 nepo babies, she was like.
Oh, really?
I think she's in my top 5 easily, but I might have forgot to say her. But yeah, Miley can hang. She's cool.
Last year, was it last year? Maybe the year before Vancouver Pride, Fifi Dobson performed.
Yes.
And people were furious.
People, why?
Me and my friends knew like all the words to the songs, and everyone else was like, "This is homophobic. Like, who is this person?"
Fifi.
Poor Fifi's up there. Are
Kill
you ready
Fifi.
to be my
What was her famous song? Yes.
that one? Yeah, and Ghost, like a ghost, ghost.
Canadian.
Oh yeah, that one I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, people
Fifi.
really didn't like her,
She's
though.
Canadian, right?
Yeah.
And I remember when Avril Lavigne like really popped off, then Fifi Dobson came out. It was like, oh, we sort of have like these sort of pop punk princesses. Yeah, with like a little edge to them. But then I heard no more Fifi after that until she was, stabbed to death at a pride parade, apparently.
She lacked a little luster. I'll say
Oh,
that.
yeah?
Yeah.
Didn't have
Wasn't
the lust.
best performance.
I
Oh,
just
Fifi.
couldn't. I couldn't like even the song you just sang was familiar, but I couldn't name a song. But that's
Yeah.
also like I need to have a more eclectic taste in music because I don't go very far anymore.
Yeah,
Like I
it's
don't. I'm
Nicki
not creative.
Minaj.
Lana
and-
Del Rey, and
I love Lana Del Rey.
Lana Del Rey. She's
cool.
so cool. She's so cool. And then
That song, Video Games, makes me sad. It makes my heart sad.
I know she's a sad girl.
She's so elegant. Like,
games. Yeah.
She's good though. So
she's cool.
I'm obsessed.
Is she dating Franco? James
No,
Franco for a
Franco
while?
wanted to date her.
Oh, really? He
don't
let
know a
his
ton about it.
intentions be known and they weren't reciprocated.
the public shut down.
He wrote an open letter to the New York Times. My intentions to date Miss Del Rey.
Well, I don't know the story exactly, but I know there was a thing where he like was posting about how in love he was with her, but she never responded.
Jesus Christ.
What? Have you seen the skit of Jimmy
Lana!
Kimmel when he talks about Nicole Kidman and how he like almost met her and she rejected him? And it's like the tension is palatable between the two of them on TV.
No. He rejected her. He didn't like. She wanted to go out on a date with him,
and he
like didn't take it
clock
seriously.
Yeah.
He had no.
But then
ribs.
he has that moment of like, what?
Yeah.
Like I rejected Nicole Kidman. He had no idea.
His wife at home is like, that would be the funniest pivot because she
Oh,
would have
yeah.
like just broken up with Tom Cruise and then to date. It's like, it's like that's an even funnier leap than Kanye to Pete Davidson. That's a way funnier leap than that.
That is a funny leap. It reminded me, do you ever like do YouTube deep dives? And it was Jennifer Aniston and they were pulling a prank on this like new interviewer. And so they had Jennifer Aniston be really act like she was like pissed off and not wanting to be there and like giving this guy a hard time and just like making him feel like he's really screwing it up. And he was just nice and nervous and like the questions were so thoughtful. And she was really smart because she took the questions and gaslit him and made the questions sound offensive.
Damn.
And I felt so bad for him.
That's icky. Ooh, I can't watch that
But
stuff.
it was only for 30 seconds and then they relieved this poor
okay.
guy.
Thank
And like they all
goodness.
walk in and start laughing at him. But like he was like shaking after. I'm like, I would be too, like, because that's so like that could change. Like,
For sure. Especially someone you admire. Like obviously Jennifer Aniston, I'm sure he like respects and likes her as that'd be terrifying.
And I feel like she has that in her, like too. Like I could believe that she could give you like the what did you just say to me, you little wise ass? Because
like the Blake Lively interview. That one was awful. When the woman's asked her about her pregnancy, and she's like, I can't even remember what she
You're
says.
Stifla. I don't know that it was the interviewer. And then I followed her on YouTube after. I thought it was so interesting.
What's her name?
It's spelled KJ, but it's pronounced Yerstifla. And then she has this YouTube channel called Flossom. So yeah, I'm on YouTube. Yeah, I am on YouTube too much. I am clearly on YouTube too much. But she followed that because I was like, I entrenched myself in the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni thing. Because I think it's not so much about them.
Is it ongoing? It's still going on, right?
It's still
raging.
On. Yeah. I haven't been keeping up as much as when it first happened, but I thought that whole story was so interesting. Not just between the two of them, but kind of how easily a whole audience of people can be so easily manipulated, and like made me question like when you read certain things, like how edited and manipulated and out of context things can be, and like how I would buy it. It was I think it was I mean, I don't feel bad for them, but like I think watching that unfold was a lot more meta than I think people.
Well, it's also
realize.
like what take you're getting, right? Like even like I used to like be like, how can you believe this about, you know, certain things that you don't believe? And then I'm like, oh, it's just people are just getting different news. You know, it's like they'll never know the other side. I'll never know the other side. It's just you're just getting exactly. I mean, I just get AI slop and dumb shit on my algorithm now. But people who care about the world, they're getting information, and it's very slanted usually. Yeah. Like really this podcast. You might think that Costco, Instacart is a great way to save on your. Yeah.
Well, it's better than using Uber Eats for like getting like me, like because I would like, oh, what do I feel like today? And I would just not pay attention to like my bank account it's actually an anxiety of mine. Like it's like I'll do it and I know I can't afford this and I should be saving, but it's almost like well. Just do it and then just worry about it tomorrow. And
they keep adding new fees, like service fee for BC and all these things. You're like, what is this new 99-cent thing I'm paying for? Like, I don't care. Add it on there. Yeah. Like, as long as it's less than $1. But then it's like there's 7 things and they're all like 98 cents.
But Netflix is like $85 a month now or something insane. It's like, good God, man.
One time I got like, or I just wanted to see what it'd be like the cheapest thing, like an egg McMuffin from McDonald's and just that. Like, and then the final order, just to order that to be delivered, came to like $25.
Oh,
that's like that's how like an egg McMuffins are $3, and like that's like so you're like.
The markup is insane.
Anytime I've ordered a Starbucks coffee, it like literally comes to $14.
I just don't think the convenience is worth that level of markup. Like
when you're in the middle of nowhere in Richmond and you're like, I need this or I might die. It's necessary.
Oh, 100%.
Are you talking about doing verticals?
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
I knew exactly what you meant
Actually,
right now. I knew exactly what you were referencing.
You're in a mansion in Richmond by yourself for 12 hours. You're like, I need this coffee or I might cry.
First AD's like, do you want anything? I want you to get my Uber Eats order. Please, thank you.
What are verticals? I keep hearing about verticals.
You don't know?
Wow.
You're the premier casting director in Western Canada, in all of Canada.
So this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like, so I finally, I put it out on literally last week on my Instagram. Can someone explain verticals to me? Because I was like, people keep like, what do you think of verticals? I'm like, what are you talking about? I have no idea. And then I did just a very small.
You were horrified.
Well, so what I've gathered, it's for like, so people will come to Vancouver and then they'll hire non-union actors and then it's kind of like these like, kind of like quick little stories, like almost like
they're long. They're like 2.5 hours if you watch them all the way through. Like they're very long in total, but the way it works is like each episode is about 1 minute or 2 minutes long and you swipe through them like similar to TikTok. And then after 20 of them, you have to pay for them. So people will get hooked on the story and then they have to pay for them. But because of that, there needs to be a twist at the end of every episode. Like something crazy has to happen. So within the first 5 minutes, it's like someone's been shot. You find out someone's pregnant. Someone's cousin's uncle is robbing a bank. So it's just like so the story is crazy. So it's interesting reading the scripts because they try and make them like as sort of reasonable and logical as you can within that frame.
Oh, they're trying to keep them reasonable?
Some of them depends on the company.
The ones that I saw did not seem or feel reasonable, but I also think I didn't see like I haven't seen one with a Vancouver actor.
Normal ass soap operas are insane. Like soap operas on TV are insane. So it's like verticals aren't really crazier than, you know,
Yeah.
Or are they?
I mean, I did one that had a face transplant. Like, it was pretty wild. It was like the actor switched halfway through, and it was like he had a face transplant.
Oh my God.
It was a real...
I mean, that's kind of fun. Like,
yeah, they are.
Fun.
And they're really fun to work on because they're very just like...
They're chill.
Everyone's in on it. It's not like they're like, this makes sense. Like, this crew is like, okay, and then we're doing...
Right.
They're in on the joke.
They're in on it. Yeah. And I think when you watch it, there's a self-awareness to like...
Totally.
It knows what it is. Some of them are just feel a little bit... almost like how you described ASMR earlier, like almost like feels 18
I think I said I
plus.
crank my
Total.
shit
Oh yeah,
to it.
no. All of the. I've called someone a whore, a bitch. Like I've slapped someone in every single. I'm always the villain. I've slapped someone in every single one I've done. They're
Daddy,
very.
Daddy, chill.
Or peasant is another one. I
Daddy,
called
chill.
someone a peasant 9 times in one of the ones I
Whoa.
shot. And the writer or the director was like, I'm going to see if we can cut down on the peasants. It's a little weird. And he asked the client and they were like, no, keep the peasants.
You know what's an insult I'm bringing back? It was witch. I've been really liking witch lately. You're being a real witch.
I heard
right
someone
now.
call someone a nuisance, and I was like, that would cut. Imagine finding out someone called you a nuisance.
the way you would shrivel.
Yeah. That's just that's
like,
a shrinking feeling.
It's like incompetence. I'm being like, you know what you are? You're just incompetent. But nuisance is like, you're like a little gnat. Witch, nuisance. Those are good ones.
But the nice thing with the verticals that I will say is like, the company is very dependent. So like there's some that I would say definitely work for and others that I'd be like, do not go near them kind of thing. And they have those reputations.
Monica
And
Dahlman
that
is
also-
quite nice and lovely, I've heard. Yeah. Monica Dahlman is casting for
Yeah,
for
she's
the
lovely.
verticals.
Yeah,
and she seems
she's
to be
awesome.
very, very
and she
lovely.
also won't cast for the companies that are sketchy. A lot of them aren't from Canada. They're like from, because get sent out for ones in LA, Toronto, all over. Some of them are dodgy and some are great. So it's like very much one of those things that I always tell actors, like do your research, ask around before you
And they're
say
called
yes.
verticals because you watch them on your phone.
Yeah.
The way cinema was intended to be watched. Martin Scorsese. You snob.
I feel like verticals, like from what I've seen, like because I do get that kind of channel, but I feel like why isn't Canada making their own then? Like why aren't we making?
Aren't they?
I mean, most of the companies are LA based. The big one in Vancouver is like Raven Crew and Sparklands are the 2 really big ones,
Gotcha.
and they're both LA based. But they're here all the time, and like their main, like Jackie is their main casting director, and I can't remember what else he does for them.
But these
he's
things
very
are not
involved.
going away, it seems
No,
like.
no. There's a new company every week. I got offered one from something I'd never heard of last week. And
Are you still doing them pretty consistently?
I've stepped back a little bit just because it was like, I was playing the same. It's the same.
I can't believe you're the bad guy in these
Every
all the
time. Yeah.
The queen of mean, I guess. They must know.
But it's nice because like, there is something nice about like, I don't have to audition for them, which is nice. It's kind of just like, are you available this date to this date? Because it's pretty much the exact same
Straight
role.
to offer
Like,
for the queen of
but
mean.
because they're identical. Like the villain character is always the same. Like it's
Right.
always like she's secretly in love, or not secretly, she's like very outwardly in love with the lead. This new ingenue has come in. She's like a crazy.
Do you know any dialogue? Can you give us a
Oh my
line from
gosh.
one of the
it's-
things you said? Some
It's
outrageous-
always like, do you know who you're talking to? I am the CEO's wife, god damn it. Like it's always, it's like always very biting.
It's true.
But it's very like, because of that, I think it makes it they know what works, right? So like they have this formula that gets viewership and they make a ton of money doing these things. So like they can literally just plug and play the same thing over and over and over again.
Right.
Like an infinite number of times and people still watch them.
It's pretty sure it's but I think I don't know. I don't see that any problem with it because like
No.
it's a weird time for actors in Vancouver. I think like
Oh, just everywhere.
everywhere, the whole world, not just Vancouver. And so if there's some like level of passive income that makes it easier for
Totally.
any actor, it's just again, it's like, and union actors can't do them, or can they?
No. Some others, I think I've heard of 1 or 2 that have been like offered to union people just because they got the green light from LA, I think.
I just want to warn people, if you're thinking about doing them, just keep in mind that sometimes Matt Graham does them and you may be forced to work with Matthew Graham sometimes. So think twice, actors.
twice, Matthew Graham.
But-
Sometimes paying your rent, not worth it.
Yeah,
Not
it's
worth
also
the
just
trouble.
good on-set experience. Like, so whenever people get offered them, I get it. Some people are like, oh no, I don't want to do them because it's like they're embarrassing or whatever. I'm like, well, like your on-set experience, like you're working with really like most of the
and that dog food commercial you did isn't the coolest shit in the world. Also,
and the crew is so nice. Like I've had such good experiences on all the ones I've worked with. Like I haven't had any negative. Like I don't know. I think they're fun.
Okay, good.
I've only heard like good experiences about them, and that's why I'm like, everyone's like, Kris, what do you think of verticals? I'm like, I don't think of verticals. Like I don't know what they are. Like
it didn't cross my mind ever.
Yeah, but I could see myself totally getting hooked on them, and like I think there's a lot of room for potential. Like I think that could be a fun way
to tell stories. During the pandemic,
Totally.
they were doing those like they were like verticals, but it was text, and it would just be like. It would start with, oh my God, my crush is looking at me. And then you had to swipe to see like what the next part of the story was. And I got asked to write some of those things.
No way.
And I was like, oh, okay. So I just kind of like looked at a few of them and they were paying pretty well. So I wrote a few and they never took any of mine. And I was like, come on, this shit's easy. My stories are great. And they didn't want any of them.
Well, that's it. They're great for aspiring screenwriters because they pump these things out. Like I think there's about 5 or 6 a month being produced.
I think that a lot of people who like start off and they're like, I'll do this and then I'll keep going. They just keep doing that because like they eventually start making like really good money and like it gets very comfortable, which is fine. You should do that. You should pay your bills any way that you can. But I think that people should just be a little more honest. Like, no, this is like what I do. This is like the genre that I've decided to work in, as opposed to like, it's not great. I'm just doing it to get by, or you know what I mean?
Well, there's a guy
like,
who does them in Vancouver like prolifically. Like you'll see him. He's in all of them. His agent told him she didn't want him to do them anymore, and he was like, "Well, no. Like I this is my bread and butter at this point." And he
For
actually,
acting?
yeah. He ended up leaving the agency and now he's been in like easily over 100 in the last year. He's in like 3 a month kind of thing. Like and then he does mini ones. Like he gets flown around to do them. Like about the lead who was on the last one I did just went to Costa Rica to film one. Like I got asked to go to China. Like they fly you everywhere to do these things.
Oh,
it's super cool. It's like a little micro industry within the film industry.
Yeah, it's gonna get like as big though. I don't know. I think it's just gonna keep blowing up and getting bigger.
Oh, and there's
bigger.
so much drama. It's so fun. Like there's always something spicy going on.
Yeah, and like I think just because even if it's like labeled as cheesy or whatever, like I don't think it's trying to hide the fact that it's like camp. Like I love camp, but you know what I mean? Like
camp is
fun.
great,
and it's also a means to an end. And like I don't know who's judging, like who, you know what I mean? Like no,
Totally.
I think Canadians are used to working pretty hard for their money. I feel so,
I've said no to a bunch that are very like softcore porny. Those are the ones that I'm like,
that was the only red. Okay, I'm glad you said.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, that's porn. I'm like, where?
It's what? How do you know that?
Is it? No way.
I've
Never heard that sound before.
Yeah, I'm triggered. So triggered. But no, it's like that was the only red flag. I'm like, it kind of the tone of it seems a little bit like porn, porn scenario.
It's horny and porny.
Yeah, but not all of it is that though. No. Is what I'm.
You know what? Movies
Depends
are
on the
so sexless these days. Like if you look at like me and Dino were talking about this. Like if you look at like there's a whole genre of movies they don't make anymore. It's just like the adult thriller about like a married couple. You know what I mean? Like Indecent Proposal and stuff like that. Like there used to just be Michael Douglas movies where there'd be fucking and fucking and sucking.
Yeah,
and there's no and like you see big blockbusters these days and it's like like the main guy isn't like having a hot sweaty makeout session with like the Jurassic Park movies, the Mission Impossible movies, the Marvel movies. Like they're so sexless, you know what I mean? And it used to be like, God, does every movie need to have a romantic interest? And like me and my friends used to roll our eyes at that when we were like teenagers in our early 20s. We're like, oh, and of course those two are gonna hook up. Now that's gone, and I'm just like, maybe we should get a bit more sex back in these movies, like sex appeal. Like even like Star Wars, right? Like there was sex, like Star Wars was sexy and romantic, like there was characters who had sexual tension. There was a love triangle sort of, and now those just don't exist anymore. So I can see like, these verticals that are mini soap operas and other things as well. But yeah, they should movies should be hornier. Movies should, come on.
Look at James Bond. I remember old James Bond movies. It was like he was banging left and right in those things.
Throwing women
now
up against a wall.
Scene.
With Pierce Brosnan movies? Like when
like the old ones. Yeah, like the sliding door would close in the train cart and they'd be moaning.
Throwing women on the bed and
sex with a woman and coming.
Right? Yeah.
Are these all porn related?
Unfortunately, it's a pretty dirty drop day, guys. We got dirty drops today. Should we play F, Marry, Kill?
Sure.
Do you guys have 3? Do you guys have an example of 3 for F, Marry, Kill?
I did come up with 3.
You
You know
did?
what? I'm gonna have to think of it now because I got the text. I'm like, no problem, and then I totally
You can go last.
didn't think about it at all.
You can
I
go
read
last.
it and then I forgot.
Okay, Natalie, do you want to go first?
I was going to go with the classic. And you can do it actually for both sides. The cast of Friends. Like Ron.
Oh, okay.
Ron.
Steve.
Steve, Blair,
yeah.
Ed.
Kanye. Yeah.
Kanye.
Okay.
Chandler,
yeah.
Ross, Joey, and
Okay.
then Monica, Rachel, Phoebe.
Sure. Let's do the guys.
I feel like this
first.
says a lot about your personality, like which characters you align strongest with, and which
right.
ones you don't like is like a very telling thing.
Ooh, this is tricky. God, who do I want to
And
kill?
are we going based off of like just personality? Or
Yeah, their
am I only
characters.
subjected to like? Are my only options the males?
What do you-
No.
Should we do
I'm,
just
I'm
the
a
guys, then
homosexual.
just the girls?
yeah, let's do just the guys and then just the girls.
Wait, you're what?
pardon?
Like, so I can't choose like Phoebe or Monica or Rachel. Or,
Well, we can do both. Like,
Oh, of
I'll do
course.
Phoebe and them
Energetic.
too. Yeah.
We'll start on the we'll start with the guys. So
Yeah.
I have just a prediction before we get going. I predict no one will elect to kill Joey. I think Joey is surviving all 3 of our lists. This is my prediction. I could be wrong, and I'm not trying to sway anybody. But do you know Natalie right off the bat? Who
Yeah.
you want? You know your order
Yeah,
for the guys?
I would marry
too.
Chandler, fuck Joey, kill Ross, which kills me because I also love
Brutal.
Ross. And he aged beautifully, but like I
good-looking
love I love Chandler.
I did not suspect that you'd marry Chandler.
I love Chandler.
Wow.
And not to be boring, but I fully am in alignment with that. Like,
That's your
I-
same list?
yeah, there's no other options.
You
Yeah.
fuck Joey, you kill. There's no other options. Someone's
Ross-
got to stand up for
Chandler
Ross
is
here, you guys.
so lovely. Like, oh, I love him so much.
Yeah, and
What? He won't commit. He's insanely neurotic. He can never be serious.
that sounds like Ross.
Yeah.
Ross
And he
is
does- he's
obsessed with
charming.
commitment. He won't even let
Ross is
Rachel
obsessed
talk
with
to him.
himself.
Is this about
Yes,
Mark?
Yeah.
thank
I
you.
think-
Ross was much more toxic than people realize.
He is
because-
hyper. Oh, he's toxic.
and he gaslit Rachel the whole we were on a break.
What? They were on a break.
I know
He
that
shouldn't
like-
have slept with the girl from the photo.
The whole
shop,
time he
but-
was dating other people, he was like pining for Rachel. Like Chandler, once he
she's
makes his
his
decision
lobster.
about Monica, he loves Monica. He doesn't like waffle.
I'm not very pleased with this Ross shitting on right now. I think Mr. Geller has got a lot going for him.
He had
He's
a
a
pet
doctor.
monkey.
Yes. Actually, he's brutal.
He was pretty
He had a
weird.
pet monkey. He
strange.
dated his student.
Yeah, like lots of questionable choices.
Okay, Ross might be
He left
brutal.
Rachel before their honeymoon. Remember, he like didn't go with her.
Yeah, all because he's having
went by-
some existential crisis.
No,
right?
Yeah.
I
Like,
stopped
come
at that
on.
point. After I take the Rachel, I was like, I can't do this anymore. My heart is all
That was
aflutter.
so sad.
Okay, so
Who
I
did he
got
say that to? I take-
Emily.
to Emily,
Right.
the
See,
Brit.
yeah, some of my
Yeah.
memory is faded. I didn't watch it all in chronological order, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I watched it, like my parents watched it when I was little. And so I've seen so many classic episodes, but I don't necessarily have like the.
You've got like your Star Wars order. Like season 3 is like Rogue One. You got to watch that first.
yeah, pretty
Are
much.
you marrying Ross? Is that what I'm getting from this? Was that the takeaway, or are you fucking Ross?
I think I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna take a wild one here. I'm gonna marry Joey.
what?
I'm gonna go wild and marry Joey because Joey's almost always in a good mood. And if I bring home the bacon, he's not working a lot, so he can, maybe take care of the house while I'm gone. And then I think I will fuck Ross and kill Chandler.
Okay, unpack that.
Whoa.
Okay, so
Why Ross?
because Ross is a big burly guy. He's like, I think he's got more pent up sexual energy than Chandler does. I think Chandler is sexually inhibited. So I don't think he'd be a good fuck, and I think I would want to divorce him after a very short period of time. I think he's too jokey. There can't be 2 of us.
That's true.
I know that I'm the Chandler, okay? I'm not crazy. Could I be any more Chandler? So
Is Ross gonna like? Is Ross like what? What role? are
There's
you
an
gonna-
episode of Entourage where
Ross.
David Schwimmer plays himself, and he goes into this meeting with all these agents, and they're trying to find something for him. And they all keep pitching him a new friends. And one of the agents, this young woman, is like, I think people underestimate you as like maybe a potential leading man or an action star. You're big and strong, and you've got these dark features. And I can see you doing stuff a little more sexy and dramatic. And I was like, I think Entourage kind of nailed.
Well, yeah, he
this,
did
this
after
void
Friends.
for Schwimmer.
Like he was in Band of Brothers, and he's like a sexy, burly dude. Like outside of Friends, he dated Schwimmer as a hot guy. Like he aged beautifully, and like he did well for himself after. But like his character in Friends is brutal. Like he's sweet, and like you love all of them on some level. But like,
yeah, he might cry.
I actually
after.
I found Ross the least funny, except the funniest moment of the show was
His
a scene-
pivot.
Yeah,
It's clearly pivot. Yeah.
It was so funny, and I don't.
There's not even like the second funniest Friends moment is not even close.
oh, for me, it's the lion sleeps tonight when they're all dancing with the monkey. I love that scene.
I don't
I don't
even
even
know.
remember that.
Really? Oh, it's so good.
Well,
So
like I'm
cute.
not a huge Friends fan, but I gotta say, when they play trivia for who gets a bigger apartment,
Oh, yeah.
maybe the best single episode of the show
It's
like
so good.
God, I don't remember that one, but I remember
Chandler
like,
Bong.
Miss Chandler Bong.
I do remember that. Yes.
What was Monica's name when she played field hockey? Big fat goalie. The show was body shaming like crazy.
Oh, it's so
it was
bad.
homophobic as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Ross was a gaslighter. It was rough, man.
But what I find so interesting, it's like when I watched it, I mean, also I was young, but I don't think it translated to adults either. Like, this is offensive, you know? And I wondered, like, did the gay community find it offensive? Like, did lesbians find it offensive? Like, the, you know, like, the, or like, and trans people, when I think it was like Chandler's dad was
Chandler's
trans.
dad.
And,
Right.
and like, it was, because no one mentioned it, but
Yeah,
now
and played by a woman, which was odd. Like it was just played by a biological
I forgot
female.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, why did you cast it? That's so
Yeah,
odd.
I don't know. I
What a
kind of
weird
remember
choice.
like Sean Hayes talks a little bit about like some of the barriers that they broke down in Will and Grace, and like first time doing this and first time doing that on network TV, and I don't know. I'd like
There's
to have
some
a
episodes
candid-
of Sex in the City that do not age well. That you're like,
yeah, all the ones with
"Whoa."
Carrie.
Yeah, basically.
All the ones where Carrie is our protagonist. She's a psychotic woman. Yeah.
There's an episode called "Trannies in the Alley" or something, and it's about like,
Right.
yeah, it's brutal.
There's this book by
Wow.
I think Laura Jane Grace called Tranny, and it's about this punk rock singer who transitions, and it's this incredible book. But the trans community is like, why would you call it tranny? And she's got like, I can't remember her reasoning, but she was on Jon Stewart talking about the reason behind it. But like, just the process that she went through and that like most trans people go through is just really eye opening. But it's also a really cool book because, you know, what's cooler than the behind the scenes of a punk rock band? Like, so you get like, it's like a crazy ass story about like, you know, a punk rock band becoming very popular. I think the band was called Against, which punk rockers know, but I didn't really. But yeah. Anyway, I recommend that book. It's very good. But you will have to go to the library and say, can I have a copy of Tranny, please? Yeah. So maybe just type it into the thing.
The
But
search, yeah,
Yeah,
the search.
exactly.
Bit of a digression, but when people were shocked about like the J.K. Rowling being anti-trans, like the fact that people were shocked that she's kind of a crappy person blew my. She had one Asian character and she named her Cho Chang. Like I remember being like 4 and like
The whole
reading that
cast
and
is
being
like turned on her,
"Ooh,
right?
That's not good. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't like her anymore, right? The main cast. I think
Yeah,
they've all been
they've
like,
kind
you
of-
suck. Yeah.
The documentary about the like making of Harry Potter, they all really tap dance around her. They don't really talk about anything
Right.
to do with like her as a person or working with her or like her vision. I think they're all like, obviously she's brilliant on some level because she created this universe. So
Yeah.
like, you know, you have to some appreciation for that. But I think most of them are like, yeah, she turns out she's a bit questionable.
Turns out she sucks.
Yeah.
Does she have much to do with the Amazon show that's coming out?
I don't know.
Yes, she does.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
And to be honest, I can't even speak on J.K. Rowling because I don't know what she's said. I know she said awful
I'm kind of the
things.
same. I just
Yeah.
know that like
A lot of
she's
people
not on the right
have
side of history.
She
with a few
basically just
things.
denies that trans people can exist. She thinks it's like a mental
Right.
illness, and she's like doubled down on that a few times.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's so
sorry, go on.
disappointing. No, it's just disappointing for people who love her books because, like,
Totally.
how do you stay in that imagination mind but then
Yeah.
feel like you're betrayed by that imagination? You know, that's the
Yeah.
hard part.
And the
you know?
fantasy realm and like those, like so many people were like coming of age and like discovering who they were while reading those books. So I bet that stung extra hard for like a particular group of people who were like, no, not the Harry Potter
Yeah,
lady.
probably
Yeah.
the trans people.
Yeah.
Yes, very specifically.
Yeah. So, but I mean, yeah, because
Well, I think the Muggles actually felt pretty bad.
Yeah. Witches,
Muggles aren't treated
warlords.
very fairly. Yeah, that's
But it makes me want to do a deep dive.
Guys with no noses. Got shit on those movies.
Exactly.
Okay, so now we got to do the
the
women.
females,
now
yeah.
the women are friends.
Yeah. This one
Who's
might be.
This is a tough one.
Okay, well, Kris, you should go first.
Okay, yeah, I will. Okay, Mary would be Rachel.
Daddy, chill.
I'm gonna do a sound effect for
I love
everyone who
that.
does that. Okay.
Daddy, chill.
Tell me you do. Mary's Rachel. Okay. I
Yeah.
know what I'm doing for fuck.
I feel okay. So for that, I would pick.
Kris getting all posh. I will not be saying the F word on your show.
I think it would be Phoebe for me.
For sex?
Yeah.
Having sex with a woman and coming.
Okay.
God. Because
I'm making a reel of this exact moment. By
I
the way.
find her funny, and funny is sexy. And I would maybe distance myself from Monica. I wouldn't kill her. But
Eliminate, as the kids say.
yeah, but okay. Like, I think it's all within right
So
reasons.
Monica's gone.
Yeah.
Phoebe's in the sack, and you're marrying Rachel.
Yeah,
Rachel is the Ross of the women. I hope you guys know
No,
that.
she's not.
No.
She's so different.
Yeah.
They're
She's
very
a mess
different people.
also. She's a big mess.
But she's not type A at all. Ross is like neurotic. Rachel's the opposite. She's lost in the sauce half the time.
right. She
And
also
she was-
does radically change for the
That's
series
true.
of the show. She becomes less shallow and a good person. Yeah.
Well, she starts in a wedding dress and she's like running away, and so she like, but that's because I didn't really watch the show that much, but she was devoted to true love, and then I
Yeah.
think she truly loved Ross, and then Ross waffled, and then that made her confused, and then isn't that the whole?
Yeah.
By the way, when
Totally.
you think about the hottest Jennifer Aniston looked in that show, what comes to mind? I will speak for all straight men in a moment, but I just want to know what you guys say.
Hottest she looked. The football episode, the Thanksgiving one.
Oh,
she was
does
really
look
cute
good
with the
in
little
that.
braids.
Right.
I loved her Bang era, which I think the series finale
yeah.
image is the one that comes to mind the most. I'm just like, you are so beautiful, like, and she's so beautiful all the time.
She's
like, but
so pretty.
she was like, how
I got off the plane.
I go.
Is that what
Oh,
she says?
Yeah.
She has a good way at
Waterworks.
like using comedy to manipulate you into crying because she's funny, but then she uses comedy for a comedic break, and it's like
She's so endearing.
I got off the. I got. I know.
Yeah,
I got
she's
off
great.
the plane. It's
She's
like
underrated.
she is. Yeah. She
Yeah.
is.
I don't think anyone's ever called Jennifer Aniston underrated.
Yeah, that billionaire.
I think she's probably the most rated celebrity of all time.
Yeah,
yeah, Lisa
I think
Kudrow's
she
like,
gets
but
exactly
me, am I?
what she deserves.
I would say first few seasons working at Central Perk. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
working at Central Perk. Yeah. Or when they all have to dress up to go to Ross's dumb event, and then she finally comes out
yeah,
in a
the
nice
dress, and she's beautiful.
The dress looks good.
Yeah.
the,
the
dress,
dress
is
looks
good.
good.
The dress looks good.
Okay, who am I
Confident.
marrying? Okay, I think I'm going to have perhaps intercourse with Rachel. Marry. I gotta marry Monica, and I unfortunately Phoebe. I gotta say goodbye. I will always cherish you. Yeah, but I gotta marry
Same.
Monica on this one. Yeah.
Monica.
Imagine being
very
married to a
practical.
master chef.
I mean, yeah.
That's true.
Like,
There's a perk.
who's obsessed with cleaning, which I am already, but I
Yeah,
can't
you
cook.
and Monica actually
we would
have
have
a
the
lot in common.
cleanest house, man. It would
Yeah.
be insane. We wouldn't even let people over.
Yeah, it's actually a good way to think of it, though. But like, I would want to find someone who fills in where I'm bad, and I'm not
Yeah.
good at budgeting, and I'm not good at like organizing or such as.
Understood. Okay. Natalie?
I would marry Rachel because I think she's funny and humor is important.
Amen.
Whereas like Monica, she's endearing. She definitely has like lovely qualities, but the neuroses would kill me. So I'd fuck her, and then
Full sentences,
I'm gonna
please.
have to kill fucking Monica, and then unfortunately I'm gonna have to kill Phoebe. Phoebe, like
No.
I know, but
Two
Phoebe, I
Phoebes.
think it was like season 3. I don't know, maybe 3 or 4. There was a point where they made her a little too kooky. She kind of got like the Eric Matthews effect in Boy Meets World, where they just like
Okay.
warped her
Only-
into getting weirder and weirder for a little
Yeah.
bit. It was during the like. Remember when she believes her mom's a cat at one episode? And like, it's actually
Yeah.
beautiful the way they finish that story arc where she's like, how many dead moms do you have, Ross? Like, if I have to believe my mom isn't the cat to feel better, like, how does this affect you kind of
Right,
thing?
yeah.
But that stage, they
we
make
say
her
the
a little
verticals
too
are
kooky.
crazy.
Yeah, right? They make her like a little too kooky.
That's an interesting observation. And see, I would always see like I do remember a particular episode that I think that's the one you're talking about, where it starts as super kooky and then it's really emotional and really sad and kind of dark. And she talks about her mom. I know she's talking about her mom and like
Ursula, her sister.
And didn't her mom kill herself by putting her head in the oven? Like there's like full oh my god.
Isn't that Sylvia Plath? Isn't that Sylvia Plath?
Who plays her mom?
No, Sylvia Plath was a poet and she killed herself by doing that.
Oh.
That's sad.
Why is that? But that's just so specific. Head in the oven.
And then we find out
that
her mom left a note and then she killed herself. I can't remember how she did it. But then they find out her biological mom is the other lady.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right, here's my F, marry, kill. Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk.
Ooh.
Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk. What are you doing, kids? I'm happy to go first. I can go last. Anyone have any thoughts? We can work this out as a group.
I want you to go first because I need to hear your logic. There's a couple that I don't think I know enough about on a personal level. Like I don't really know what Mark Zuckerberg is a person, like what his legacy is other than he made Facebook.
Yeah, I believe
And like Social Network, he looked like kind of a dink, but like
he's kind of a cyborg.
Yeah.
Do you know that Aaron Sorkin, who wrote Social Network, is writing and directing a sequel to it?
No way.
Yeah. So that could be very good.
Interesting.
Yeah. He's good. He directed Molly's Game as well. He's obviously known as a prolific screenwriter, but I liked his directing as well. I think Molly's Game is great. And he was the showrunner for the West Wing, where he's
cool.
handpicking the showrunner's really in charge in TV. So yeah, he's got chops. Breaking news, Aaron Sorkin good at his job. Okay.
He needs that endorsement, Danny.
My marriage choice is actually easy. I'm going to marry Jeff Bezos. And I'm going to tell you why right now. I think Jeff Bezos has this eager to please his partner thing. I think Jeff Bezos is still like, if I buy my wife a yacht, then I'll be the best husband because I bought her the biggest yacht. Like, I still think he thinks he can, like, just like give you gifts. He can like love bomb you, but he's got all the money in the world for it to be like, I'll buy you a spaceship.
That's a good person to be love bombed by.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally, I was like, it's okay if it's an authentic love. Like, that's fine.
I'll take it.
I can settle.
He'll try. He'll put an effort in, right?
Okay.
The other guys won't, I don't think. So now it's F or kill. I think I've got to eliminate. I think I got to say bye to Zuckerberg. Unfortunately, I gotta say bye to Zuck because
you're gonna go on a live podcast saying you're marrying Elon Musk.
I am unfortunately saying no. Musk is the bang. Musk is the
Daddy, chill.
no. Musk is
you're killing him.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're having sex.
Yeah,
then.
I'm marrying Jeff
God.
Bezos. I'm
okay.
banging Elon, and I'm departing Zuckerberg. Yeah, Zuck. I think he would have cameras in the bedroom because he's always watching and recording everything, and I don't like that. I think there'd be privacy issues, and Elon would be, Elon is just like, mailing his sperm to people saying like, do you want to have my 90th? Like, he's a freak. He's an FREAK, as our friend Nikki would say.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I gotta pick him. The robotic gyrations, he's too robotic. I just don't think Zuck is gonna do it for me. Is gonna get me there. Why did I analyze this that deeply?
It's gonna get you.
Okay, kids, your turn to say disgusting things.
And it's between these three.
Yep.
Do you want to go first or?
I don't feel strongly about any of them.
Yep. Thank you.
Like,
this
I feel
is
pretty.
great.
My instinct is to. I think, marry Bezos is also the instinct. But no, I'd probably bang Zuckerberg and then kill Musk.
Interesting.
I think.
Any? Do you want to elaborate deeper on any of that, or just move right along? Both are completely fair options.
I don't know. I've seen interviews with Zuckerberg, and like he's really smart and like kind of captivating in that sense.
He could like figure out new ways to make you feel good.
Yeah,
in
like
the bedroom.
Sometimes it's the biggest nerds that you're like surprising, but you've probably thought about this a lot, Like,
have you ever had sex in the metaverse?
Yeah, right?
You can just put on this
100%.
headset, and I will do my thing to you.
Well, Zuckerberg has also, like, he's kind of beefed up a little
Yeah.
bit.
He's an MMA bro now.
Yeah. Like, did you see that clip where he was like getting ready and like, I mean, everyone focused on the moment where he went to high five someone and no one high fived him back. I'm like, that's
Ouch.
there's no amount of money that can redo that. Yeah, I mean,
Once a nerd, always a nerd.
that's
that
the
haunted
inner
him.
childhood trauma coming out on the public screen there. But he does seem healthier, you know, in terms of, Elon Musk does not seem healthy right now.
No, absolutely
No, he
not.
seems not good.
And I feel like, I mean, like, just in general, like, there's something going on there. And like, I'm very sensitive to smell. And so I'd marry Bezos too, obviously.
Okay.
Like, I feel like
Obvious
that's
choice,
I
yeah.
think great.
Daddy
Congrats,
Bezos.
Yeah.
hygienic. So I'm aligned with you. Yeah. And Musk does
He does
not
seem clean,
as hygienic as he used to be, which makes me think he's either treating something or he's on some sort of medication. Cause like,
Well, he said he's autistic, like he's on the spectrum. So I wonder if maybe like he's getting some new quirks or some new like click kind of things coming out. I don't know.
And I watched an interview years ago with him and Joe Rogan, and his personality like is similar, but he seems a lot more affected by it now, or he seems, maybe, I mean, obviously
He used to be like kind of fun. Like I remember hearing interviews with him back in the day. I'm like, this guy's pretty cool. And now he seems like haunted.
Yeah,
which
he does. There's a darkness
like,
that lingers around him. I notice specifically when Twitter got changed to the word X, and like because there's a lot of technological things that he's done that is very interesting. But the whole thing, like the fight that he just had online, like just the fact that was so real. Weird. It's so weird at such a weird time in the world. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand it anymore. But like he gives me like uncomfortable vibes, like, you know, when you like wake up in the morning and it's like, I need to get out of here, but then you can't find your phone, and it's like that scene, remember that scene from White Lotus when she wakes up in season 2 and she's like, I need to go, and she can't find her phone. The ick feeling that you get, I get that with Elon. Like I feel like
so Elon is
adult.
You're not marrying or effing Elon, I take it.
I feel like I would send him a polite I'm not interested.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't want to piss him off. Like,
True, I would not want to piss off Musk.
No.
Don't point the satellite at my apartment, please.
Please.
Okay, so I think Bezos came out pretty good on that one.
Yeah.
Chris, you got 3 for us?
Oh yeah. Oh, 3 people. Oh, sorry. I'm like, I married Jeff
did it.
Bezos. I did it. 3 people. I did think this was part of it. Okay. So 3 people, I would say then, okay. We're gonna have to circle back. You know what?
We can circle back.
Danny, may I use the bathroom?
You may. We can pause.
We can do a pause
We'll do a pause right
as well.
Oh, ask it.
yeah.
We're back from
Just 'cause
peeing. But let's do that as a detour, a casting director question.
I have always wondered this. I don't, and obviously, like, I know you couldn't give a super honest take because it's part of your job, but what's your
Matt
thought?
Graham's worst performance? I think I made that exact joke 12 times now. Okay. Anyway.
What is your take, or do you ever come across like stage parents or like film parents? Because I feel like every time I have had so many weird interactions with parents who put their kids in film. And it's like I remember meeting someone who was like, oh yeah, we just had a baby. We're trying to hand them to as many people as possible so that they're good on set. And I remember being like, do you know you just said that out loud? Like you just have this newborn baby and you're like, how can I monetize this thing? Like, it's super weird. And I feel like that it's such a tough time in film and TV because there are all these like quiet on set and documentaries coming out about like abuse of children in film. And I think we've come leaps and bounds from like most of that stuff now, thank God. But there is still definitely some aspect of like, you know, kids being put to work. It is work, even if they're having fun at a really young age. And that like devil in the household, the parents
Ruby
who
Frankie
are like
thing?
TikToking their
I
kids.
think like the YouTubers are like the worst offenders of that
'cause
because
in the
there's
house.
not other people. Exactly.
Yeah.
There's not like a sound guy who can be like, did you just hit your kid? Or you know what I mean? Like,
but I've always wondered
shit's
that as a
way
casting
worse.
director, if you ever get that feeling of like
Our pal the Liver King.
like heebie-jeebies, because obviously you need kids in film. Like it's an important part of the industry. There has to be representation of children, otherwise it wouldn't be very good.
Well, I'm on record
representation.
saying that all children in film should be CGI or puppets, and we shouldn't have children anywhere. near
Computer
film.
animated.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, do you come across that often?
Yeah, I'll totally answer it truthfully. No, there's definitely more so pre-pandemic because post-pandemic, everything's kind of gone to self-tape. So I'm sure there's plenty, but interactions with them cease to exist post-pandemic. But pre-pandemic, it's the most uncomfortable situation is when you know, like, say there's a really good child actor, but they don't want to be there. And you can feel that they don't want to be there, but they're doing it because their parents want them to do it.
Oh, that's sad.
And in those moments, that's where I get a bit of a moral dilemma, because there's certain kid actors who have great reputations. But I've also seen a lot of like what being in the industry and getting a lot of success at a really young age can do to a young mind, because when you go in with an undeveloped brain and you're treated like royalty, and then when you age out of acting and then all of a sudden the world isn't treating you the same, when your brain isn't fully developed. I just don't think that it's that. I do think that there's, like, per the union, which shout out to UBC, like there's rules in place for children, like having a chaperone, maximum 8 hours on set. But yeah, no, the stage parents really do exist. I think there's a little bit more self-awareness or awareness of like toxic, parents. But yeah, it's hard with casting. But yeah, no, absolutely.
That must be really tough.
Yeah, like seeing the kid and being like, you're so talented, you're so good at this, but like
your parents suck.
Or you hate it. And like you don't want a kid who doesn't want to be there, right?
Yeah.
But, like,
exactly.
Also,
and I will say in film and TV though, people are very intuitive. Like we haven't ever cast someone that we didn't feel good about, where we felt like we're ruining this poor kid's life. Because you can also tell the kids that come in and just love it. Like, and because they come in and they just own the room, they love it. And like the parents are like less interested,
no
and probably
fear.
Don't want them to get into acting. But there are some kids that they just come in and are mind-blowing, and it's like that's where it's like acting is such an interesting path to take, because how do kids develop all of that intelligence, and it's so
the emotional intelligence,
like how do they process it? Because like it's like even like TikTokers, like 13-year-olds today, like at 13, like I was not dancing like that. I had no mind-body coordination. Like I had no any concept of it. Like I was still talking to Beanie Babies, like grade 8. Like like it was not the same. Like so, it's. I think the world moves at a different pace now, though. Like it's different with social media. Like I didn't have social media. Like none of us had social media when we were children.
No,
but we'll see. I mean, we don't cast kids that often, though.
Right.
And I don't love when there's lots of kids to cast.
You know what I think about?
You never know what you're going to get. Kids are so volatile too.
Well, when I was on the Nintendo commercial that I booked through you guys.
Oh God, we've done so many of them.
Yeah, it was me and a ton of kids on set because I was like their school teacher. And so like all the takes were like me with like these like 10 kids. And then at first they're really shy. And then you're like, oh, these kids are shy. And then you joke around with them. And then they're just like nonstop, like Daddy. And then like eventually the ADs were like, can we talk to you for a second? They'd call me to just like give me like a break because like the kids were just like literally, it was very sweet.
Well, it's very sweet that you made them feel comfortable. Like I feel like as a kid,
well, they should have fun, and it's like if you're doing a Nintendo commercial, like this should be fun for you. So when they're like, when I can tell they're just like, and they're a little like quiet, nervous. So just like it's like just say something dumb and make them laugh. But I mentioned that because like when I was just like hearing them talk to each other about like booking stuff, it's so weird because they're like referencing other people in the group who've like booked a lot of things, and then some have never really booked stuff, and then some kids are like, no, I was just an extra on that one. And it's like I can't imagine if someone in my school growing up, because no one was in film in my school, like was on a huge TV commercial, like how they would have got treated at school. That must be a weird dynamic within just the kid circles within their groups, like that competition. Or maybe their parents pushing them. Some might care, some might not. I think that would just like create a really strange pecking order on the playground, just among kids.
I grew up with a
themselves.
lot of child actors and like pretty successful ones. Actually, they're now like, pretty prolific actors. And I don't really think any of them have good relationships with their parents anymore. And most of them said they were too young. They were like, I was 10 and I was on set for like 15 hours a day. I didn't go to school for 2 years. Like they said like as much as they value it because it gave them a career now as an adult that they obviously thrive in and really love, they were like, I was too little at that stage to like, all they saw was I was missing birthday parties. I was missing like trips to the aquarium, like all these things I just wasn't a part of. And like, even though obviously their parents are not like evil, they're not like, they did it for the right reasons, I guess. They thought they were like promoting their careers.
Yeah.
Now I think most of them have the lens of like, as much as I appreciate where it got me, it's not the path I would have taken. Like I wish I'd found it on my own. Like it's interesting.
I'm the opposite. I wish they forced me into it when I was younger. I wish they had to drag me into auditions when I was a kid. I would have been way happier.
Well, it's so funny because it is.
I should be way more fucked up right now.
But this is kind of
Damn it, well-adjusted parents.
Yeah,
because sensitive kids, like, and you, I imagine, I feel like you were sensitive as a child, maybe not, maybe aloof, but like,
maybe.
The thing is it is, acting can be so good for some kids, you know what I mean? And the experience, like, is a different, but it can also be so awful. It just depends on your
I
DNA.
needed the outlet.
Totally.
I was just trying to get reactions out of people my whole life, and then I'm like, oh, I should have a creative outlet, and I just didn't realize that because I was just like, I just would do anything to get a reaction out of anyone, whenever, and so I was just like, it was beyond class clown. I was just like, I was like a little Nathan Fielder. I was like, how can I like mess with the whole world around me and turn it into like a science experiment kind of thing? But then I'm like, oh, what I need to do is, go slate my name and then do a silly scene and act out some bullshit.
But you but you enjoy making people laugh and like elevating the vibration to make it something higher. I think with kid actors, and because I've done deep dives on like just the psychological effects that it can have. And I think when you monetize youth, because youth is fleeting in all of us when you start to become an adult.
Except for us, because we're ageless.
Yeah,
the three of
I'm a
us.
vampire.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll never age.
We are beauties.
Yeah, we are. We're the exception. But that to me is like, what else is a kid supposed to think when they grow into their adulthood and no one values them the way that they were valued as a child? What does that do to a brain when that's all you know as a child? Like,
Totally.
it's like, I mean,
it's
an interesting thing to study. It's kind of depressing, but it's like there's so many like things that you could like just consider now, like, pivot before something can be traumatizing,
Yeah.
But
I dated a lot of male actors and their skincare routine. Oh my God. Like,
drop it. Drop the
drop some tips. Like,
oh my gosh, they were using like I hadn't even heard of retinol, and they were like 16 using retinol. Like, they were hardcore. Like they needed to be they needed to be baby face for their careers, right? So they were like every treatment, everything under the sun. Wow. And like it works. I mean, most of them were like in their 30s. They were like CW14 because they were like they could do it forever.
Like, it was crazy.
So CW coded.
OC, weren't they all in their 30s when
they were?
Oh yeah.
Like Riverdale, they were like literally like 28 plus.
Oh
kind of
yeah.
thing.
That's amazing.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
I grew up doing musical theater, which I think is very much like, I think about it now, like hardcore. Like I was a half day at school kind of thing. Like I was a hardcore theater kid. Oh, fun. It is, and it like, I think anytime a kid is getting bullied in school, my first instinct is like put them in theater because like it's a group of misfits. Everyone is very accepting. I don't remember people getting bullied in theater ever because everyone was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, especially for boys, my older brother got bullied and then he went into theater and all of a sudden he had like girlfriends because they love a straight male in theater, He was like the star all of a sudden. And like it was so good for his confidence. But at the same time, my girlfriends and I all talk about this now. Like I'm still good friends with most of my theater girls. They've all gone on to be like musical theater actors and directors in Vancouver. We were very sexualized at a very young age. Like I remember being 14 and 15 and the like 30-year-old men would make comments and jokes about us all the time. Like we remember specific quotes from them that we were like, how old were we? And we did the math and we were like, we were 13 and they were 27. We're like, that is so gross. And like you were doing quick changes backstage around these people. Like, I don't think any of them were predators, but like the comments and like how quickly at a young, we thought we were like, we're getting attention. Like we loved it. But now in retrospect, I'm like, I don't know if I would want my kid in that environment. Like,
nope.
Just because a lot of a lot of them are kind of, especially for the guys, people who, let's say, haven't had a lot of attention in life or whatever it is. And they sometimes can be kind of inappropriate. And like now the number of stories that have come out of men who I used to do theater with who have done things that have definitely crossed lines. And all of them were like, yeah, that tracks. Remember when he made a joke about like handcuffing him to himself when we were like 5? Like super inappropriate comments that like, yeah, it's interesting. I feel like it's very much as it was very formative and like a very positive experience. At the same time, I'm like, I don't know how safe I would feel putting my child in that experience.
Yeah, no, totally. Because you don't know, it's hard to trust people.
Totally.
And like with the internet, people are exposed to everything. Like you can go online and look at anything at any age. And like the internet didn't even exist till I was like 14 or whatever. When did it open up? Like 1997?
Like when it got good.
Like Facebook.
E-Bombs World.
E-Bombs World was the shit.
World
Oh my
every day.
God.
That was like the main and Ask Jeeves. Anyone
Oh,
remember
yeah.
Ask
Yeah,
Jeeves?
folks had to
my
ask
gosh.
Jeeves back in the day. People don't know. Jeeves was Google back then for a little
Yeah.
bit. Yahoo, Ask Jeeves, and Google were like tied for like, we could use any one of, they're all viable.
And what
Yeah.
about AOL?
I was never an AOL
I
girly.
did the AOL.
Never was.
Well, my parents did, but yeah.
I never
all
did
four of us.
MySpace either.
I
Oh,
did.
really? I had
Yeah,
MySpace.
I did.
I
And
was a late
Nexopia.
adopter to
Remember
Facebook.
I had
Nexopia?
Nexopia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's pretty
I had
cool.
Nexopia. Yeah. Do you know what Nexopia is?
I forget.
So it's like, think of like Facebook, but you could see all the people that follow you are on your left hand side, and all the people, and then you post like 4 pictures of yourself, and like,
Yeah.
it's like a combination of Facebook and MySpace, but like simplified.
Right.
You like
Okay.
basically it's just a page. Like you design your page and you put quotes and stuff on it.
Isn't that
But I don't know if there
MySpace
was any
too?
interaction. Like people could message you, but I don't know if there was like a wall or anything. I can't
I
remember.
don't remember.
I
but
think
I'm
it was
gonna
just
do a
people could
deep
see
dive.
your page, and then you would like. I remember perfectly curating it, and I was a big musical theater kid, so I remember it was all like last 5 years quotes.
Oh my god, I love it. Yeah,
Such
no.
a
Oh, did you ever do the thing where it's like you would put like on or was it Instant Messenger, like and like
Yeah.
but it was
MSN?
before MSN. thank
Yeah,
you.
and then you
yeah.
could nudge people.
Oh,
and-
MSN.
Nudge people, and that's where I learned the term LOL. And I always thought LOL was lots of laughs. It was actually a couple of years ago that I found, and the very first thing I was told was lots of love. And so every time I saw LOL, the very first thing I thought was, oh, okay, like lots of love, like
Very
okay.
sweet.
And then like, no, it means laugh out loud. No, it means lots of laughs. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And then
Yeah.
it landed on laugh out loud.
Ouch.
That's so. Remember when
Yeah.
people would put "and" if they were with someone? So your MSN name, you'd change it to "and" whoever you were hanging out with at the time.
Yep.
And I remember that being such a source of like childhood microbullying because you'd be like, "Oh, they're all hanging out and I'm not there."
Remember
Like,
early
Yes.
Facebook posts where people would like, your name was first, so your Facebook post would be like, is at the supermarket right
Yeah.
now. It was like, this is so stupid. You look back, like, do you ever have memories on and it
Mm-hmm.
shows you like, me and my friends were just having like text message level conversations
the
on
wall
each
to
other's
wall.
walls. Like, why weren't we texting each other? What were we like? Literally, it's like, yo, should we go see Iron Man at 8:00 tonight? Like, I was like, why are we not calling each other and asking these questions?
Remember Honesty Box where people could just write mean things to you? Like that
Yes.
was horrible.
No,
not
I don't
partake.
remember Honesty
It was an
Box.
anonymous.
That was in
platform.
Facebook,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
And all it would show you was it was a pink message if it was from a girl and blue if it was from a boy, but you had no idea who it was from. You just get anonymous messages. Because people, of course, are going to write really nice things to each other when you give them that power.
Are you guys familiar with Are We Dating the Same Guy?
Yes. I am familiar.
I am not. Spill. I
Oh,
want to know.
it's prolifically used in Vancouver.
Natalie. Oh, is it just a Vancouver thing?
I think so. I've only.
It's a Facebook group,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Called Are We Dating the Same
That's
Guy?
so funny. My friend sent me a post on one like 2 days ago from a mutual friend of ours.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Ooh. I remember a friend of mine wound up on The Dirty.
Oh, yeah.
because he was
I've
on
been
a
on The
bad
Dirty.
date with a girl. And
Were you?
No, I was not. I'm not about me, but I've
okay,
been
I was
on
like,
the website.
tell me more.
What did you know?
Hello.
No, but because I would read to see if I would know anyone, and that's
Right.
so toxic of me because I was.
That is really
like what is it?
You can hold that over them one day if they
Yeah.
ever piss you off. At least I'm not on The Dirty.
Yeah, exactly.
Bitch.
Yeah.
But that website scared the hell out of me because like it was ruthless. And
Well, it's also
so-
the internet. Anyone could put anything about anyone.
Yeah, they
Like,
could
there's
make up anything.
No
There's
one's
no filter.
fact-checking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that
so
website
scary.
still exist?
What's
I
that?
don't know.
Does the dirty still exist?
The Dirty is just the internet
Dirty.
now.
Yeah, it is just the internet. It's just
X is the like biggest, like most disgusting graveyard of all time now. If you ever like log back onto Twitter, it's just like videos. It's just like full porn.
Really?
Yeah. There's full porn everywhere. Like when I'm not around the TV during the Oilers playoffs, I would just go on X to see like second by second updates on the score. And some people would be like, "Whoa, did you see that goal?" And the picture just be like a guy with his cock in his hand. And I'm like,
Oh my
what on
God.
earth is going on right now? And people would be like, they would just call it like Oilers versus Panthers. And it's just a video of a girl getting railed. And it's like her link to her OnlyFans. And I'm like, what? This is, and this shit is like not like just got posted and hasn't been taken down yet. It's been up for like 8 hours and has it's just full of comments saying like, find God, or it's like, you really never knew your dad, did you? And it's like people just roasting OnlyFans girls under full porn videos. Yeah.
The last time I logged into my MSN Messenger, my name, like the username was, even though the stars are blind, with alternating upper and lowercase letters, dots in between each letter, and palm trees on either side.
Wow.
And then my display picture was from a snippet of the Beautiful Soul Jesse McCartney music video.
You love
with like
Jesse
the blue
McCartney.
background. Yeah, I loved Jesse.
I get the Jesse McCartney thing.
He was so cute.
Summerland, I believe.
yeah.
Is that what the show was?
He sang Beautiful Soul, and
Yeah, you love that one.
I loved him.
Is that going to be your wedding song?
Yeah,
is that going to be your first dance?
It was funny. There was that era though that my friends and I talk about that, like that era where super feminine boys was like the thing, like Zac Efron, like Jesse McCartney, like all of those, Aaron Carter. Like you all go through this age where you're like, that is the most beautiful human in the world.
Jonathan
and they're just
Taylor Thomas?
Jonathan JTT.
Steve Urkel.
Was
Yeah.
Jesse,
I can't wait to talk about Urkel ever.
who's Jesse McCartney yours?
Yeah,
the
he was.
person?
I loved him, and I really liked Zac Efron as well. High School Musical like altered my brain chemistry. I loved.
I remember all the guys that get mushroom cuts and be like, "Do I look like Nick Carter yet? Is it giving Nick Carter? Is it giving whatever the blonde in every
Aaron
boy band?
Carter, yeah.
Every boy band had the blonde one.
Yeah.
But Nick Carter was the main blonde from a boy band, in my opinion. Like
Yes.
he was the first, like he was the OG.
He's Backstreet
blonde,
Boys, right?
Backstreet
Yeah.
Boys.
And then Lance Bass was the blonde of NSYNC.
Yeah,
to
but-
me, those were the same guy. Like the same, like we need 5 guys. Who's our blonde?
Yeah. Who's the baby face?
Yeah, the baby face. Yeah.
But to me, like in Backstreet Boys, Nick Carter was all the rave of all of them.
totally.
Even though it's divisive
Really?
and people like Brian and people like Kevin and people all have their
Oh,
opinion.
yeah.
But Nick Carter to me was like, in terms of like the whole population, people tend to lean towards Nick Carter. And then, but in sync, it was all Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
And what are the other names
Was
of
it
the
Nick or
NSYNC guys?
Aaron who died? Aaron
Lance.
died,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Nick Carter's still alive, but that was sad. that
Yeah.
whole thing.
Joey
Yeah.
Fatone, isn't that an NSYNC guy?
Oh my God, yes, and I know exactly what he looks like, which is so weird.
It was
Tattoos.
AJ's Backstreet Boys.
AJ's Backstreet Boys. He was Soul Patch, right?
Yeah.
Always got.
And then
the
he had
soul
that
patch.
song Drive By Love. Like he had his own solo career
Sing it
for a
for
while.
us.
Wow.
I can't remember how it goes,
You
but I remember
lying.
liking it. No, I don't. I actually genuinely don't. I'll take any opportunity to sing into this microphone.
If you were on American Idol right now and they're like, "Boom, go! What song are you singing?"
Valerie by Amy Winehouse.
Let's hear a tiny
No,
bit of Valerie.
I don't want to.
from
I'm
you. Do you need me to
embarrassed.
cue you up?
No, I don't want to.
Did you have to go to
Danny,
jail?
don't embarrass
Did you get a
me.
good lawyer? That's the best part, the lawyer part.
I need to get into Amy Winehouse more because I loved her, but she was too ahead of, like, I was too young to understand the music. But now I think if I listen to it, I'm like, ooh. But it's also sad because it's like I'd want more music from her.
Yeah, it's hard when you fall in love with a celebrity who's passed away. Like that's always very like. Even I found that with Matthew Perry. I read his documentary or his autobiography, and I was like, he's so interesting. He's so cool. And then I like watched all the interviews, and it was like I only got super into it. I obviously knew it was like Chandler, but actually hearing about his life and his like career after he died.
That's for alpha males. That's James Gandolfini. When we, my alpha male community, watch Sopranos, and we're like, oh yeah, there's no more Gandolfini.
That's sad.
Gandolfini gone.
Yeah, and Sopranos was really good. And
It holds up, by the way.
Great
It's
show.
It does.
incredible.
It
Still
holds up. I
Yeah.
didn't watch it in order, but I'm like, I should like my brother. You gotta watch Sopranos. My brother has this like crazy thing where he's like, when he tells me that I'm gonna like something, I really end up liking
Really?
it. Yeah, like
Well, it must be nice to have one of those people whose like recommendations are always.
What are
fire.
some surefire hits he put you on?
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Uh-huh.
And that's the main one
Yeah.
because that became our show.
Yeah.
And we would always like, because we would not have any of the same interests. And then, but then it's Always Sunny. And I was a stoner in my early 20s and being like a Sunny fan and a stoner at the same time was a very
Good time to be alive.
Good time to be alive.
Good time to be alive.
And then it kind of carried forward as I got older. I would just hang out with my brother and watch it, and we just laugh. But in recent seasons, we were watching it, and there was like, because me and my brother don't do emotions together very much, but like there's a scene that was so emotional, and it's always, do you know what I'm talking about?
I barely watch the show. That
surprises me.
I know. But it's not that I don't want to. It's just like I never like
you
set
just
aside the time.
seem like a guy who would know every episode.
And every
of
clip I love, and I'm like, this is, if I had a show, I would probably, it would feel a lot like this. And
yeah,
you
it's
should do a dive. You'd like it.
Oh, I love It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But do you know? Do you know the episode where they go to Ireland and then it's like they go see Charlie's dad?
Well.
So there's this episode, and it's like, it's pretty funny. They go to Ireland, shenanigans, and think it's similar to like, I don't know. It's almost like, think if South Park was a TV show. It's just so
that's kind of how I
ridiculous,
take it. Yeah,
so loud. If you don't know the show, like overhearing it would sound obnoxious and annoying.
Right.
Like my mom would always hate when we put it on because they're always just yelling. Danny DeVito is one of the funniest human beings alive.
Yeah.
He I don't know how he does it, but he's just always funny. But there's this one scene, and it's like the finale of season 12, and like they go to Ireland so Charlie can meet his dad because like the dad abandoned him. He's not interested in Charlie, but then he goes and they actually have a good connection. And then the dad dies at the end of the episode. And then they have to pull the body up the mountain. And it's funny because it's so ridiculous. They're pulling this body up the mountain for whatever reason. But then the tone of the episode totally takes, like, it goes like uncomfortably real.
Right.
It's like that scene from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where it's like, it's all light and funny. And then Will
why
Smith
doesn't he want me, man?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of awkward though. Like you're watching it even by yourself. I'm like, I feel kind of this
That's
is
good
not
though.
the show.
They're doing that to you.
Yeah.
That I'm like, and I remember my brother like kind of uncomfortably laughing. I'm like, I don't think this is supposed to be funny. I think this is supposed to be a real moment of the show, but we're just not ready for it. It was like watching the new Nathan Fielder series. Not all of it's funny. The rehearsal season 2.
Yeah, it's not laugh out loud, but sometimes it is. But the whole time you're more watching it like with your mouth agape, just being like, "What the fuck is this all for nothing?" And that's kind of like the joke that everything is sort of for nothing. But yeah, I think people should watch Nathan For You first, and then if they can fully handle Nathan For You, then you can graduate to the rehearsal because I would not recommend it for everyone.
No, but I mean Nathan For You is
all time
hilarious.
It's truly all time. Yeah.
And I didn't know
He's like an Andy Kaufman level. Like, I'm gonna commit my entire full life to being a character. Never out of character. It's just like, I respect that so much, but it's
I also think this character that he puts on is just a more theatrical version of his brain.
Yeah, every now and again, my favorite kinds of funny people are funny and they don't know it. Like, I have a lot of friends who they're just funny the way they speak. Like, my uncles really like that, and my aunts, and they're all just like, you can kind of laugh at them, but their personalities are just hilarious, but they're not like funny people. And I think every now and again, there's someone who's like that, but from a macro level, they can understand why they're quirky and weird. And that's how you get like a Nathan Fielder, where he's like, oh, I'm a funny guy, but I'm not like a club comedian funny guy. Like, the way that I am is funny. And it takes a strange kind of self-knowing to identify that and then to monetize it the way that he has.
Yeah.
Also, no,
you go.
I was gonna say there's something very specific about like shows that are funny with heart kind of thing. And there's a reason like The Office was, even because in all intents and purposes, some of the Office episodes are so stupid.
Yeah.
But they all have that moment where there's like a moment where it's real, or there's an emotion that's brought into it that makes the characters like relatable and real. And like Schitt's Creek did an amazing job of that. Like
Hacks is so
Hacks
good for that. Yeah.
It's so funny and enjoyable, and you love all the characters. And like, even though it's ridiculous and they're all caricatures and whatever it is, like they're unrealistic characters, but the emotions they bring are so real that it makes them like relatable. And there's a reason these shows are like beloved by everyone, because everyone sees themselves in these ridiculous characters in some way, you know?
I think that makes anything iconic is when you can successfully meld together different emotions. So it's like, if a comedy has a serious moment, that's great. I think people forget that like horror movies often contain some of the funniest moments in any movies. Like the Scream movies are they're cleverly written. They're almost like nerd they're for film nerds. That's like another thing because it's like a film historian, a horror historian. They're scary and gory, obviously. They're sexy and they're also very funny. And like Jurassic Park as well. It's like there's funny moments in Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is also like a horror movie sometimes.
Totally.
It's a sci-fi. So it's like if you can like hit the more nails on the head you can hit and emotions you can get out of people, that's when you start to be like, oh, this is a fucking banger. Like this is
Cabin
an
in the
all-time.
Woods. Do you remember that?
Cabin in the Woods
was
is
so
very
good.
unique,
Like,
very
what's
cool.
that
So
scene
funny.
when like the girl's becoming dumber or whatever, and he's like, she has a master's in biology. Like, why is she talking like that?
Yeah. See,
Like,
that's
it's
cool too.
so good.
And that's all those things. It's funny, scary, violent. It's sci-fi. Yeah. All the best things of all that. Even like Shawshank Redemption is like sweet and heartbreaking. It's a prison movie. It's it's nasty. It's funny. It's a buddy comedy at the same time.
What are you guys' all-time favorite show? And it doesn't have to be
TV show?
TV show.
I have a really unhelpful take on this, but I just want to say it is impossible for me to combine drama with comedy for this. I don't think one
interesting.
belongs on the list with the other. They're just radically different. But anyway, you guys go on. That's a great question.
Okay, yeah, you go, and then I want to hear you, and then why? Like why?
That's tough.
It could be a childhood.
Yeah, it's
favorite
interesting because
show.
Schitt's Creek is like the first thing that comes to mind in terms because every time I watch it, I'm like, man, that's a beautiful show.
I'm a pretty basic
the
bitch.
characters
Like
are so lovely.
Breaking Bad, Sopranos, and like The Wire. There's a reason people talk about those shows all the time. They're really, really good.
shows.
I also think Ben Stiller's limited series Escape at Dannemora
never
is
seen that.
absolutely incredible. It's the true story of a prison
Ben
break.
Stiller is really good at coming up with because he's Severance too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's Severance. And if Escape at Dannemora wasn't as good as it was, Severance would be on my list of like some of the best
Really?
things ever. And I think Chernobyl
Oh,
was
so good.
insanely good as well.
Loved that.
Yeah, just excellent. So for drama, it's kind of those things are in there. Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
hard.
I love Breaking Bad. I think that's the most like high quality show
Yeah.
that I loved, but I have to give it to Buffy.
Oh, of course.
Buffy's so
Talk
good.
about multiple
and it's
genres.
hold up well.
nailing
Like
it. Yeah.
It's
you
held up.
rewatch it and you're like, this is like good television. Like
Yeah.
it's entertaining. You don't have to understand the whole backstory to sit in an episode. It's still enjoyable. Like it's very good TV.
Yeah.
It's very funny. I don't think people know how funny the show is because I've gone back because there's a new Buffy and
Yeah.
Buffy's super funny.
it's pretty
It's very
funny and
funny.
it's dry. It's also self-aware of its campiness, but then there's episodes that will rip you apart, and then it's like, oh my god, like what is this show?
Still remember when her mom got killed.
That's
I
my
was
favorite
like,
episode.
What
Oh,
the
yeah,
fuck
that
did
was
this show
wild.
become? Yeah.
Oh, because the whole first act was one take, and you just didn't see it back in like 2000, the year 2000, like whatever season 5 year was, which I think it was like literally it ended in 2002, so it was 99
Wow.
or 2000, and so
Trying not to think about that.
Yes.
yeah,
That's
the
sad.
show's over 30 years old.
Yikes.
Wow.
I know
That's
that
hard to
fucks
imagine.
me up a little bit.
That makes me 24 years old. Wow. Holy shit, guys. Oh, I'm getting older. Oh, yeah. I can still play 18. Did you say your fave?
Yeah, like I don't know, Schitt's Creek comes to mind, but there's so many shows that I'm like, weirdly enough, weird genre, but The Haunting of Hill House I thought was such a good
Oh, cool.
series.
I
I've
loved
showed like
that
8
series.
people that series. Just I love the concept. I mean, I'm gonna spoil it. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Spoil it for anyone who
but
hasn't heard it.
You spoil it. Go ahead. And
I
spoil it.
love the idea that the things that are haunting them is like themselves. Like I think that's such a cool concept for a horror film where it's like, yes, of course it's ghosts and it's otherworldly or whatever, but it's like they're also being haunted by their own demons. And like that's and like some of the direction choices are so interesting. All the characters are so well done. Like it's such a good story arc. No episodes are boring. Like every episode I'm like, oh, this is such a good one, you know? And I think that's a good sign of like a solid TV show. So that one, horror isn't normally, I would say, my go-to genre, but that show I was like, this makes you think. Like it's very cool. And the acting was so good.
What was your favorite cartoon when you were a kid?
Oh.
Oh, Rugrats.
Rugrats
Oh,
is
that's a
great.
great one.
Yeah.
Love Rugrats. And Magic School Bus. The
Magic School Bus was
digestion one when
awesome.
you got
Yeah.
shit out in a toilet. I'm like, this is amazing.
You know, there's only like 50 episodes of Magic School Bus.
Oh, even less, I thought.
So that's why people, it might even be less. It might be like 42 or something. There's a reason we can all recall the same episodes. It's because there weren't very many.
Yeah.
And they just looped them. So like, the one where they go inside like Ralph's body
Yeah.
or whatever, like the one inside of a book where there's no friction. Like,
I
there
like how
weren't
Ralph
that many
learned
episodes.
nothing that episode. He's just gets sick.
He's
And, like,
just inside.
all the class like masters human biology after that. He's like, did I miss a bad week? Should I have been at school? Yeah. He's dying.
But I will say that was a helpful and informative show.
It
Like
was.
I
Great.
learned about things like space
Totally.
and like
Arthur was great too. Like in terms
Arthur
of like
was good.
PBS shows, Magic School Bus, Arthur all killed it. Pokemon, you learn about animals.
I loved the Recess Weekenders combo. Like when they were one
loved
after the other.
Recess.
So good.
What was Weekenders?
It was like Tino. They were just like a bunch of kids. Couldn't even tell you the plot of the show. It was just like kids hanging out. There wasn't really much more to it than that.
Do you remember Hey Arnold?
Oh,
Yes.
of course, yeah.
I liked Hey Arnold.
Hey Arnold
Yeah.
was
I always
great.
wanted to shave that girl's unibrow in the show. It drove me insane, that unibrow. Yeah.
And didn't someone have like a wire for hair? What show is that?
Is that
Maybe
Proud Family? That also had some inches.
Wire.
a blonde girl, and she'd have hair, but it was almost like she was a doll, and it was like wire hair sticking out, but an alive doll. I don't know what I'm thinking of. I feel like it's Hey Arnold. Like Hey Arnold's like
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
actually, I can
sounds Hey
picture what
Arnold-y.
you're saying.
That sounds
like,
Nickelodeon.
yeah.
Yeah. Doug was
But
good
what
too.
were
We're just
Doug,
talking
yeah.
about shows now. My podcast has run its course so quickly. Episode
Talk
24.
about our favorite-
Doug was
Doug was pretty
a
good.
show.
That was a good one.
Let me just play the Pornhub jingle again. Mix it up a little bit here.
What's the worst show you've seen in a while that you were like, how is this aired? Like, was there anything that you were like, this is ungodly terrible?
I was not a fan of. It wasn't ungodly terrible, but when I saw the trailer for the HBO show The Judge with Bryan Cranston, I was like, oh, this sounds like a really cool, like I already envisioned the season in my mind, and then the show was nothing like that.
Oh,
and I
it's
was like,
disappointing.
oh, I would have taken it in such a different direction. So I just disappointed myself with that one. But I do think there are shows that like the trailer comes out, and then you start watching them and it's like not the same vibe at all as you thought it was going to be. And I do think sometimes that's
I feel that with
intentional.
seasons of shows. Like Grey's Anatomy was one that I was so into the first like 5 or 6 seasons. And then it just took a turn. And I still watch them because I'm so invested in the stories.
My friend
but, like,
Chris, yeah.
you watch them and you're like, there's no way this is real. Like at one of the episodes, they make a joke about like, who would take a job at this hospital? There's been 6 shootings, 2 plane crashes. And
Yeah,
they list all
right?
like the ridiculous shit that's happened over, because they have to come up with content. But at this point, it's been so many seasons and they stopped focusing on like the interpersonal stuff and started going to like
Medical.
crazy things. Yeah. And it was just how many ridiculous like bombings, shootings, things can there be in a short space of time?
Yeah, no, I've experienced where I loved a series and then just saw the whole thing come undone, and that was Fear the Walking Dead. Because I'm a bit of a nerd. I loved The Walking Dead, and same with The Walking Dead, to be honest. Like, I had to admit it. I stuck it out for the whole series of The Walking Dead, but really, funny enough, one of the most loved characters, Negan, he comes in the show, and then but when he comes to the show, and it's like probably the most darkest episode of the show, where it's like he comes in and kills these people, but it was just so
Stephen Yeun,
it was so violent. It was almost like, and you're watching a zombie show, there's gore,
Yeah,
but
there's
it's like
gonna be
this is like
violence.
you've been watching these characters for like 6 years, and you're gonna. It was even a bit much for me because it was very. But Fear the Walking Dead, I loved, because when you watch The Walking Dead, it starts in the apocalypse. But Fear the Walking Dead started before. It also shot the first season
interesting.
in Vancouver.
Oh, cool.
And I'm like, I want to see what looks like Vancouver. And they half shot it in LA, half shot it in Vancouver. But it was led by Kim Dickens, and I didn't know who she was. And I love Kim Dickens and Alicia Debnam Carey, and she played the daughter, who then I think she also had a role on the 100 that shot you. But anyway, it doesn't matter. And she's an Australian actress, and I was just kind of expecting it to be cheesy, but it ended up like the first season was probably one of the best first seasons of a show I've ever
Really?
seen. Yes, it was, because it scared the hell out of me, because just the idea, I think at the time, like when I think it aired, I don't know when it aired, like 2016. Like it was well before the pandemic, but I was super fascinated by pandemic at the time. Like I don't know why. And then the pandemic
hit.
It was the closest to The Walking Dead I felt like walking the seawall and there's no one on the seawall. And then
I had that experience too in
playgrounds
Gastown
with caution tape around them.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
It was wild.
So, a friend drugged me with MDMA and then the plans got canceled and I just stayed home and read the Walking Dead comics high.
Wow,
on
that
drugs.
must have been terrifying.
It was wild. And then I read the issue where Negan shows up and kills whatever Stephen Yeun's character is, and it's like the comic is very, very good and better than the show. It just is. The show is great, but like the comic is insanely good. But yeah, I was out of my mind, just like no,
I know,
quietly reading comics on drugs.
You know what show needs to get? I find it so upsetting because I loved Sex and the City, and just like that. Is so terrible.
It's ate up
so
season
bad.
1 of it.
Watch the new season. I was like the first season. I was like, oh, this is entertaining.
Does Che get dumped?
Yeah.
Okay,
She's not in the second season.
Not a fan of Che stealing Miranda away from Dan. Is that his name? Steve. That's right. Yeah.
Oh, the new season. It's just like I'm sure the actress who plays Samantha Jones is laughing somewhere, being like, "Why did they think this was a good idea?"
Yeah. So, like, what direction did season 3 go in? Because I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it.
Did she come back to do episodes?
She did one scene in season 2 finale, and I watched that because I love Samantha was my favorite character. Yeah.
She was
like they
best
took
one.
everything that was charming and personable about the characters in Sex and the City, and then removed it from the series. Like everything that made them relatable and interesting. Now it's like, and I hate when shows like they're trying to become like new age and whatever, but in doing that, they're like isolating themselves and like having people's queer identity be their entire identity. Like Miranda's role used to be about like her career and being a mom and all these different things. Now it is only about her being a lesbian, and that is the entire plot. And it's like, I feel like that's what Schitt's Creek did such a good job of. Is it was like gay, like David's gayness was just incidental to his character. He was like a business owner and fell in love and went through all the normal like. But Miranda's character is that she's just there's nothing else about her. So it's like, what was the point? It's not moving anything forward. It's just like. You've just been like, she's a lesbian, and that's the angle we're playing forever. Like, nothing interesting happens to her.
It's so boring. Yeah, I do find almost like there's a time. I think it's maybe starting to shift, like the atmosphere. Like people are being a little bit more riskier with the content they're writing. But if the show refuses to like lift the veil of an uncomfortable truth about someone, then I just lose complete interest. In order for me to be drawn into a character, I need to notice a flaw about their character that I can identify within myself. Therefore, I want to root for that character because you want them to beat that flaw. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I love that. That's a very good take.
Thank you. But like when you start doing this like political correctedness, and I understand like, you know, to some degree they didn't want to offend anyone and they wanted to be more inclusive because on the heels of that or prior to that, it was just years of Sex in the City being called out for being problematic. As was Friends during that a time where basically everyone was
representation.
Exactly. And also there was a time where everything was getting called out. Like all shows from the 90s were just like even Buffy got called out.
Like the gay guys on Sex in the City were like that was the kind of gay guys that were on TV.
Yeah.
They were just like, "Oh my god."
But then
like,
they've done it worse. Now Miranda, like she was in the whole series, she was a successful lawyer and her biggest flaw was that like she took her career too seriously and never had any fun, and like she would like let her family life, you know, go astray for her career. Now there's nothing really about her being a lawyer at all. That's just kind of like completely been removed from the plot. Like all the things that she cared about, they've now completely replaced all of those with her being a lesbian. And it's like, okay, like that's just one facet of her entire personality. Like if you make that her one story, like that's not helpful to society either.
There's not a ton of like, there's some good, like Andrew Haig did a movie, one of my favorites, and same as Xavier Dolan. Like he's written some really cool, like where it's queer focus, but without it being the focus, if that makes sense, where it's not so much about being queer, it's more about like kind of like the uncomfortable things that kind of result from it, not just like a stereotypical. And to be honest, like I never really found the gay characters in Sex and the City offensive at all. One dimensional maybe, but like likable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're so funny.
They're so funny.
They were really funny.
That guy's just funny. Yeah. Mario, what was his name? Oh, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
but
funny,
it's I didn't find it as offensive as so many people did.
Yeah.
But what I do find it is when a character type is like, oh, the only thing about them is because like even the gay characters, like, well, they weren't written that terribly. They just weren't the center of the show. But like I've seen things where it's like, oh, okay, we're gonna do this where it's like the whole thing is the angst of like being gay and like coming out and like seeing how people react and accepting yourself. Like I am so beyond that now, and it's like I want to talk about the uncomfortable truths about what it actually is.
Did you guys ever see Bros?
I never saw it.
Yeah, I did, and it bombed. And I was so looking forward to like talking to people and seeing what their thoughts were on it, but like it just didn't.
I was
very
curious
well.
to see, and you know the thing is, and I kind of only speak for myself, but ever since childhood, I've always kind of peered towards females, because I always identified, like we were talking about Lana Del Rey earlier, like for her, like for me, like it's not, I don't feel sad when I listen to her music, and in fact, it like transmutes sadness into something a little bit more poetic.
beautiful.
You know what I mean? So if I'm feeling a certain way, and I'm trying to understand it better, throw a track like that on. Is that always the healthy thing to do? I don't think so, because like I think when because I did this for a long time where it's like I would almost sit in it for too long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like
Brew in it,
and then you can't get out of it, and then it becomes comfortable. I had a whole existential crisis because I've always loved Lana Del Rey so much. But at the same time, I'm like, is it kind of like shifting my perspective? Like if like you love, like anticipate an album and then you take it in, it's kind of, and I really noticed that recently, not through me, but I kind of reflected on how people took Taylor Swift's music so seriously. Yeah. And I'm like, I notice a little flavor of that in myself where it's like something is
obsession.
More a bit, and like especially when it's about
unhealthy fandom and
and I don't think it was ever like her. It's more like I was able to. Her music was just almost addictive. Like,
I'm trying to say Billie Eichner doesn't have the it factor that Lana Del Rey has.
No, because gays love their girlies though. Like, I don't see any gays like fangirling over a male. You know what I mean?
That's true.
It's all like, you know,
the women are the icons usually.
Like it's like you'll see groups of them go to Dua Lipa, groups of them to Sabrina Carpenter. Every gay has their mother.
But lesbians don't put some man up on a pedestal.
No.
That's funny.
But I think there's also a thing with like
no, they do not.
Parasocial relationships in general. Like for some people, they're very, very valuable. Like they will take influencers' advice as if it's the most important advice in the world, or like they will listen to a celebrity's music or whatever it is and like feel things through their voice, kind of thing. Like it's when you find something that resonates. For some people, it resonates really, really strongly, and they can identify with it so strongly. And I think that can be both like a positive and negative thing, depending on which way. Actually, interestingly enough, my fiance's best friend is doing his PhD in addictions medicine, or like addictions, and right now he's writing a paper on parasocial relationships in terms of addiction, and how like all of these celebrities who've come out and talked about their struggles with addiction, like how, you know, that's affected people's journeys, and like people who can listen to these podcasts where on the podcast, the host is like, oh yeah, like I struggle with alcoholism, like, and kind of normalizing, discussing it and like their journey, and how it can be really beneficial if you have like an idol who's gone through the same journey as you.
Yeah, that stuff can be, it's just like a North Star, someone to, you know, like it doesn't have to be the quote unquote parasocial relationship that makes it sound like, you know, you're the little shark that eats the dirt off the big shark's ass or something. But like, it's just an example, you know, like in a way, like your parents could almost be that for you. It's like, oh, they went through some struggles and you never knew what your parents were like in their 20s. So it's like, in a way, you know, how well do you really know anyone?
But sometimes there'll be an artist that you'll be like, I connect so strongly to this person. Like, I feel like I know them almost. Like, there's that feeling of like, or they know me in a way.
Yeah, when they release something that you don't resonate with, you're like, I don't know how to explain this, but this feels phony.
Betrayal.
Yeah, they're doing it wrong. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's so funny. Yeah, exactly. And you're like, oh, I'm not connecting with this. And it's like, oh, when did we lose our connection?
When did we change?
When did we change? When did this happen? But what was I? Because like, I would always like, flirt with the idea of like, but really I think I read something that resonated. It's like when you listen to music, listen to it as a visitor, not as a resident. And like, so that. What they say does not have to like actually mean what you could take what you like and leave what doesn't serve you. But like, cause I do love music for understanding like things, but you know, because you could take a song and if it's written well enough, you can project whatever you want onto it. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be about something specific.
They're
well, how funny is
art is ambiguous enough that people constantly fuck it up. And
Well, I was 14 listening to like Coming Clean by Hilary Duff and being like, I understand love. Like, what did I think? Like, what was I really relating to in those love song albums that as a kid I was like, I love this music, or like, you know, I was so when I'd never been in love before.
I love that song, by the way. I still love that song, Come Clean. And
but it's funny getting older and listening to like pop stars on the radio who are like really young, and I'm like, I don't want to hear a 17-year-old be retrospective about like love, you know, like I'm sorry, like I don't know who wrote this song, maybe they can connect with me, but I
think it must be such a weird experience as a parent having your kid like have a love, like a high school love or a high school romance, because you obviously know like odds are pretty good it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
But you're just watching them be such a blissful little idiot and they love them so much. And like, I mean, me and my high school boyfriend, we were together for almost 6 years. We had a long run, but like, you know, I think for my parents, it must have been so hard because they were like a part of the family, and yet they know at some point
it was just a ticking clock.
Yeah. It'd be so hard.
Yeah, that's brutal. Should we have them over for Christmas again, or do we think it's gonna make it to next year? I don't know.
Right?
Yeah, because as a parent, your knee-jerk reaction is to protect them, but like you can't protect them from that kind of stuff. It's tough.
And not to be dismissive, not to be like, oh, you're gonna have a million boyfriends, or like you're gonna be fine, you know? Because in that moment, it's just as real as anything else. And I often think your first love is like the one that really shakes you to your core. Like,
I think for parents, the best thing to do is just sit them down in that situation and say, like, this relationship is not your whole world. Your whole world is what you do on set when I bring you there, and you better be fucking good, or you're fucking out of the house.
Yeah, earn your keep.
Yeah, you better nail this Nintendo commercial, you little shit.
It's healthy parenting.
Yeah, that's right.
That makes sense.
Is that it? You have plans at 3, Chris.
What time is it?
2:45.
Okay.
We've been potting for
that's it.
an hour 40. I'm not angry.
See, time just goes.
By the way, speaking of Robert Kirkman, the maker of The Walking Dead, I started watching Invincible. I don't know if you guys watch that, but it's the animated superhero show on Amazon. It's 100% like, I tell people to watch it and they're like, really? And then you watch the first episode and you're like, yeah, but Stephen Yeun voices the main character. J.K. Simmons voices his dad. Sandra Oh voices his mom.
Okay.
Like the voice cast is stacked. Like Zachary Quinto is in it. Walton Goggins, Seth Rogen.
Oh, you love Goggins.
I'm a big Goggins guy. I'm a Gogmeister.
You're a goggler.
I love I'm a goggler. That's people who watch Walton Goggins undress with their telescope on the roof of their apartment. See how I tied it all in?
Yeah, that was what we call a callback.
Exactly. And that's a callback to a callback.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thanks for being here, you guys.
Thanks, Dan.
I feel like we could just go on for hours, kids.
I can chat.
Yeah. I love a yap.
But we all have to get drunk. I'm going to Kelowna tomorrow, so.
Oh, nice. What are you doing in Kelowna?
Just getting skin cancer. Classic. Just going in the sun way too. Wow. No, my family's there, so.
Oh, nice.
It's my mom's birthday and my nephew's birthday. And,
cute.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Make sure you wear. Actually, can I borrow some of your super goop? Can I just
need some super goop?
I'm gonna take. Can I take
goop it up?
Goop it up.
Smart.
Borrow some of your
It's
super
a great
goop.
sunscreen.
It's a great sunscreen.
It's a great sunscreen. Danny has it in the bathroom. I took note of it right away.
He's the actor. He's got good skincare.
I try, right? I gotta look 17 as long as I possibly can. Right. Okay, goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.